see, this is what it would always look like. You're trying to short off the high on a stock that's down, and it's bouncing off support levels. So I might take a little bit of a dip into this one, a little bit higher for a few less shares. If I can get 65, 50s, or 60s, we'll jump into the party. I still have that Intel. Yeah, now DocuSign wants to break. Oh, yeah, it looks like the jailbreak is on. I might have to chase this one a little bit. It's a breakout. I did want to see if it could break the high. I thought it might dip first, and of course, I'm putting bids out for the dip, and then there goes the DocuSign break. I just grabbed some on the breakout at 67.14, so it's not a huge short interest, right? So this is not like, I forget the name now. I'm thinking the last one that did this, but yeah, it's not like a gap or anything like that because it's not a heavy short interest, but still down 25%. If the market rallies, it's just got room to run. So we'll take the breakout instead of the dip. If it gets to 70, I think that's probably enough. We can talk about the aftermarket levels, but either way, it's headed to the upside. Intel's going crazy back and forth.
Yeah, same thing with
look at
AMD
this.
here.
Like these candles are real. It's like 39.60 to that 40 level, back and forth, over and over again. It's grinding higher, and I did manage to get a bit of a bid to get some of this out, thankfully, because now we are headed northbound, guys. We are getting that balance. I like Neo for the long, which means I got my stops in place on Intel and Micron, and Neo's now trying to break back out above that 19 level. I'm not chasing anything early. I mean, DocuSign's a bit of a different story because I felt like that one had gone down so far, but Neo, I still want to be buying in front of my support level if I get any chance to.
Yeah, so we dumped out of our trades here. We went long on we got out of Amazon there at 113, whatever, 60 there, and a bottom there of 113. So Amazon dancing around a little bit, but we are back into a long now on AMD. I said this was going to be the strong name for me, so let's just see if it goes. I mean, we were just in the money, 50 cents on this trade. 98.50. If that dumps out, then we can get out of AMD, and I don't think that would be a problem. We're trying to get a little longer here in front of that 98.50. There it is. Did we get filled? There we are. Now we're filled. So now we're going to see what happens with AMD. Hopefully it can retrace it. We're going to try to hold out on that 98.50. If it breaks, we're gone. We're not just going to sit here and average into longs on a day like this. So we're going to wait to see here. But right now we're going to try AMD. The market looks like it wants to slip back in. That was a good long for me. It might not work out, but this was a name that I wanted off of upgrades, off of yesterday. And let's just wait to see here. But AMD, the name that I'm long, and yeah, only one position right now. We got out of TQQ. We got out of Amazon. Looks like getting out and going long. Mistake right there as it just broke lower. It looks like we're going to have to just respect these shorts here again today. AMD was the one we wanted long. We just tested it there. Not a big hit, but a hit either way. We got to start reversing into these shorts like ASAP, guys.
Yeah, and speaking of reversals, Netflix did pop. If you were looking for a pop and fade, this actually did get to 185. It ran $4 to the upside and then reversed. Like, are you kidding me? Oh, give me a break. I'll try to get this. I didn't think we'd have any shot at seeing a price level like that, $4 bounce. If we can catch this to the short, I'm going to see if I can't short a pop in Netflix. Brendo.
As you were for most of these Chinese stocks, there's Pinduoduo as well. Now 5.5%, although it did reject 63 pretty hard there, back to the downside, but huge volume on PDD.
Oh yeah, Pinduoduo.
PDD, yeah, there's lots of stuff popping here.
That's what happens when you don't have orders.
We went short Apple because honestly, like, I've been wanting to short this name and have been short the last little while. We'll go back. I mean, I said we got to find a name. Remember I said I wanted to smash Microsoft at 260? Like, this is my life right now. Like, I'm calling these plays, and then I look over at something else like an AMD, and I get sidetracked with that. Microsoft's down $3 from those levels, well, $2.50 from those levels, and just looks like it wants to not get, where's the level on Microsoft? I can't find one. So we'll see if that continues to go. But right now, we're into the short on Apple. We just took some out on the day low. Let's see if it does test that 139.35. Apple's the only short that I have on right now.
Yeah, I mean, I still have Intel and Micron. Those still managed to stay below their levels. I think the thing with those is they gave you that big shelves that we're breaking down on the daily chart. This is me trying to catch that short pop on Netflix just now at 184 and change, and it goes right to my price and then just flushed $3. This is how big the ranges are at this open, and why I'm trying not to chase anything and be overly patient, because this is ridiculous. Like, give me a break. You went $4.5 to the upside, then turns off one order, crazy to the downside there. Now we're back above 700 on Tesla. So this has now gone back and forth 3 times. I'm letting it settle itself out. It's the same thing with DocuSign, man. Like, that dipped, it came into the dip price I was trying to get at the open after taking the break, and then gives me the move right back $1. So unless you have something that you like in $1 range, just kind of hold fort, man. Hold serve, because let the market pick its direction. This whipsaw action in the first 30 minutes can crush you. Like I remember saying to myself, just check back yesterday. If you put everything you liked on instead of 9:30 at 10 o'clock,
Oh, it was ridiculous.
it was ridiculous. It would have been the greatest day ever. But that first 30 minutes, the ranges and the volatility and the liquidity was essentially non-existent. There was a liquidity problem, really.
There is going to be a rally time here. Like I see people talking about that. Like I'm starting to get out. Like I'm out of half of Apple already, but we got a big move, man. We went down to the day's low of Apple, so we're just sort of starting to scalp some out now as we come back in. So we want to hold, but at some point, maybe the market finds a bottom here. And I don't know, there's going to be no bell that goes off. I keep saying that every time. Like, it's not like, oh my God, there's the bottom. So I wish there was, man. But there goes Apple now through 139. Wow, maybe. Just touched 139, did not break it. That's that bottom there. So we have 77s. We've actually made back what we lost on AMD, so all good on that one. But right now, Apple to the downside just looks like it might have bounced off 139. So this is what I mean. There are going to be areas where, hey, the market says that's enough, time to bounce back, because there are going to be people that are dip buying. We actually answered that question already about the ETFs, right? Like, there's a lot of names that are very, very depressed right now. So let's just start to ease out of some of these shorts and then watch out. Look, here goes the NASDAQ back to the upside. What's up, Brandon?
Big move for Bitcoin this morning, along with equities, guys, as expected to the downside. Here's Coinbase, though, trying to bounce through 60 once again. Huge volume alert there, trying to get back above 60, down 5% for Coin.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, yeah, NEO, $60. Sorry, not NEO, Coinbase. 60 is a pretty big level. I'm just baffled by how, not baffled, but NEO does not want to fall. Like, one of the stocks that doesn't have big wicks to the downside is NIO. And I didn't want to chase it. If I try getting along, I might have to take something in this 10 range and then try to get it out at 19 and then sort of go back to the well if it does break lower. Netflix, I finally got the fill, and as quickly, like, think about it, I finally get the fill, 184 quarter. It instantly pops down, bounces off 183, gives $1, and then is right back up towards our entry price, all in a matter of seconds. So this is where you don't want to be over trading. Tesla, like I said, back and forth. One other test of 700. This time, Tesla bounced off 700. This time it didn't break 700. So you've now got a wick off bottom at the open below 700 on Tesla, with the market still trending to the downside. But at least now it looks like this is trying to hold serve at that 700 level. We'll see what happens. That and NEO could be some good entry points if they can manage to hold from here. I think you were talking AMD. I don't want to sleep on the other chip names, but what's crazy about Intel, it is still bouncing and rejecting that 40 level. It's a huge level on the daily chart. Go back all the way like 6 or 7 years, I think, to find that one on the 40. So it's still rejecting that level to the upside. And it's a similar thing with Micron. But you bounce off a level like that eventually, usually you break.
Yeah, NVIDIA's getting killed, and what's its name? AMD is upside right now. So NVIDIA down 3+%. So we definitely thought about the right names here, but we don't have them on board right now. We're flat. We took out Apple when it took out 140 there on the upside, so that took out 140. Now came back in a little bit. So yeah, Apple sucked. Well, Apple was fine. We made money on it. We actually, as I said, down here we were out of half, let alone what we got out there. We actually got out of the last 30%. On a break of 140.20 there. Now it's coming back in. So what's up, Brandon?
Airlines showing strength. Guys, on this note, apparently the Biden administration going to announce today that international travelers, air travelers specifically, no longer have to produce a negative COVID test to enter the U.S. So CNN reporting that right now.
Sorry, just
negative COVID test time. Coming through. Yeah, Canada has different policies on all of that as well. NEO's coming down to look at 1860 right now. So NIO is coming back in right now into 1860. That's a level that we've talked about holding out for the last little while. Held out yesterday afternoon. So maybe this is a long bounce spot for NIO against that 1860. Like, I really want to go long here, but to be honest with you, just because I wonder how much more downside there actually is in this NASDAQ. We could go long. It's bouncing around that 12,000 with the bottom of 19.8. So I'm still waiting for some sort of I don't know, an indication here on what name I got to look at here. But that NEO is an interesting one at that 1870 for sure.
Oh yeah, hold up, that COGT. I'm pretty sure this was, Brendan actually brought this one to everybody's attention right before the open at least. But that just broke out on the daily, this 740. my 15 is not going to be any good, but it just broke out on the daily through 740. 750, now that it wicked through, has a little bit of size. And realistically, I mean, where else are you going to find, you know, small cap, big cap, that's fine. We'll go all over the place. But this is a huge, huge volume spiker. And we saw what happened yesterday with some of these, where they just continue to run through. When it takes out a pretty key level, I think you want to be very, very patient if you're trying to fade it, and just try to trust that if it holds any kind of support, like if it holds 7, it might have another leg to it. Yeah, there it goes, right through that 750 again. It actually blew through a 10,000 share order at that 750 to get up here. I'm going to see how expensive it is or cheap it might be for those locates, because, oh baby, we have 3 locates on this. Yesterday, it was super cheap on that dollar stock, made it a very crowded short because day traders could take as many as they want. That can make it really, really ugly when they get blown out. This one is free for us to short, so I'm not making the same mistake twice. I shorted something that was cheap to locate early instead of just waiting till everybody was blown out. I'm not shorting this thing, not till maybe like $10 or something crazy, or until I see sellers really come in.
So Brendan, what's up?
Volumes in general seem to be bouncing off of that travel news, guys. Again, if you missed it, the Biden administration reportedly going to announce today no more negative COVID tests required if you're an air traveler going into the U.S. Big volume spike on EXPE, Expedia right now. Flip over, if I can, here. There we go. And show you AAL ripping up 2% now.
Yeah, I was just looking at AAL, actually. That is a good little move there. You can look at, like I was saying before, the JETS ETF is also a decent name to look at if you want to get exposure to everything in the space. And that's an 18.50 up to $19 there on JETS, JETS. We went long on AMD. Let's just take another piece out here on this one. We're in the money $1. Well, we're in the money 80 cents. So we just take that piece out there on AMD. We wanted the long. We got, I mean, that's crazy. Like I wrote that on the sticky note 98. That went down to 97.50 right there on that move, right there, 97.75 to be honest with you, that little downtick. So maybe we look off that for some highs, but it just goes back to day's high near that 100 mark. So that's a number that we'll look at there for AMD. The 100 level coming into play here, hopefully soon, as it's already been up here and bounced around. So it was already north of 100, sorry. Then CPI comes out, crushes this thing down to 97, and now we're trying to rebound on what is a positive name today, AMD. And the market's trying to get back going here. So here we go. Another day of volatility is here. And I think we're going to be here all summer long with some of these crazy moves happening in the market. Looking at Apple taking out 140 as well right now.
Yeah, and that COGT, COGT, I don't know what I want to call it. COGT, why not, or COGT, whatever. I'll forget the name of the actual company eventually. I took an 8 break, and I probably should have just hit it at 750 when I did see it on the level 2. My first instinct was to see how expensive locates were. There's a battle happening where everybody that took this break is getting out in that 808 to 815 range. So I just joined the party. I was sitting in front of 8 quarters. I just got some out there at 815 to try to cover something. I do feel like if it pulls back, I want to take some profit so that if it pulls back, I'm trying to respect that previous 770 level and then see if I can take a bounce off this. And I don't know where it's going to go. I'm not saying, when I said $10, I just said that because yesterday, and I forget the name of the symbol already, that's how old I am, I said it could go to $1.50 when it broke a buck, and then I shorted it like 8 times before it got to $1.50. So I just think about the most obvious level, and if I want to jump into a short sort of willy-nilly, like I don't care what's happened to that point, something like a 10 makes a little bit more sense. But we're going to be in the long for now. I want to see it pull back into that 760 area before I reload. I scalped some out to make sure that we can do that. DocuSign is on, oh goodness, I typed it wrong, so don't freeze, didn't freeze. DocuSign now looking to possibly break out that 68. I think once that happens, we can get a run into 70. It's one of those where if it doesn't take the low, there's only one way for it to go. And that's what happened in DocuSign. I don't know if you got Neo, but
that was a sick ride.
Did you get?
It doesn't take the low, there's only one way to go.
Oh,
I might have to put that on a shirt. I was like, no, I didn't get that Neo.
I actually didn't realize it. I thought you might have got the Neo. I'm on the bid thinking I could have got that 1860. Neo bounces at 1870, so there's no Neo long for me either. I kind of feel like the one thing I wanted to the long side, the market's basing out, and I'm telling myself not to chase it, and just every bone in my body is now telling me to chase it. It's like, don't chase it, Neil, don't chase it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we are right now back up to $100 here on AMD. So we're going to look to see where this name wants to go from here. But I'm thinking upside, maybe. So AMD, nice little move here. Oh, and by the way, I am looking to go long again on my arch nemesis from yesterday, Meta, and I don't really know why. But, you know, that 183 right there is looking pretty juicy. Actually, you know what? I'm going to cancel that order. We're going to wait to see on that one. There's better longs out there than Meta right now, including AMD, which we're actually in, so we can watch out for that one. You are bouncing right now on this 50 period, so, you know, there is possibilities here for some decent shorts to come through if we don't hit through that 50 period. It tried to go, now it doesn't look like it wants to. I was just debating that Apple short there at 140, so that was a little level that you could have shorted there back at VWAP and at the 50 period. So that should have been respected on the short side of things there. So yeah, it just rejected. Now we're gonna retest 12,000 on the NASDAQ. I'm only long AMD and it's in the money right now, but again, we need to find some shorts. It's like, this Microsoft, it needs to get back near that 260. Like, I'm waiting just for key levels to come through. Maybe we just need to respect VWAP, and as long as we're trading underneath it, those could be the shorts to look for right now. So, yeah, your boy did it again. What's up, Alan Atkins? He took the 700 long there on Tesla. So you want to spin the money for that one, we'll spin it. I haven't looked at it, but nice trade there for you on that one as Tesla. I hope you're out of it now because the market's, well, actually, it's still at the highs. I was going to say the market's coming back in here, but yeah, Tesla, good call there, Alan. That's super, super strong. What's up, Brendan?
DocuSign, guys, just popping up on volume here, I guess, about these pre-market highs, trying to get back to 70, starting to go back higher for Docu.
You forget the line I just said. So yeah, it's about to get to that 69 level, which that's just a round number, people. But if you look at the daily chart, which I didn't pull up here, I'm just sort of, when I said $70, it wasn't the round number. It was just the fact that that was previous support. And a lot of times, that's what I think about for a target. Like, what is a previous support? Can it turn into resistance to the upside? Because let's be real, DocuSign's quarter sucked. Like, it wasn't good. Like, it's rallying because...
Wait, what?
I know, it's rallying because it just couldn't fall any further, and it was down 25%, and we've seen it in the past. But as it gets close to this number, I don't want to sit there and try and get the perfect out. It just bounced off the even, so I'm not looking any gift horse in the mouth. If I was trying to catch a short, I'd be saying to myself, okay, there's your wick, it just went parabolic. Be happy that we got both trades, which was the breakout of the high, but it did end up giving us that dip buy in the previous support level. So we're going to be at a DocuSign. We'll hit one of these because, you know, NBA playoffs are on tap right now. And I think it's going to be a fantastic series, I still think. I thought it was going to be Golden State in 6.
It's 2-1.
Now it's going to 7.
Yeah, it's 2-1. It's still a great series there.
Still think they take it, but...
Yeah, well, I mean, like, they have the pedigree there. We'll just see if Boston's D is so solid. So we'll just see how that plays out right now. Yeah, maybe one more long here as Apple broke through 139 on the downside, but it's held it previously. So we'll wait to see if it continues to want to hold that level. Looks like it wants to go one little leg down here again on Apple, but we'll try to defend. I mean, we're long here at 27. We're not going to give this too far downside, but if this market, I just want to see if, yeah, it doesn't want to. I was going to say, I just want to see if the market wants to bounce here, which it doesn't, off of 12,000. So we'll see about that. It's testing it right now. It's at 12,014. That bottom of the day, if that ever gets hit, we'll obviously be out of that Apple trade. So right now, doesn't look like it wants to do too much here going upside. We're still fine. This is only now it's starting to go. We're only out now 10 cents on this trade. Let's see if Apple does have a retracement opportunity back to this like 140 area in which we can get out if that does go back up there. But right now, Apple looking like, you know, it wants to dance around that 139. I'm fine with that. But at the same time, this market really needs to get going. So here we go to the upside, AAPL. Let's see where we go from here. AMD just resisted. We were actually bidding 98.40. Unbelievable, it goes to 43 there. But that was the level that we wanted also on AMD. So yeah, we're long Apple. We just missed that long in advanced micro devices. That would have been better, man. I wish we were long that one because right now we'd be laughing if we were. But instead we're crying because Apple doesn't want to go back to the upside. Nope. So we picked probably the wrong one again. Microsoft heading down. The NASDAQ is going to break this 12,000. We only like these longs if we're above this level here, and we're not. We're not even near the 50 period right now. So watch out for this Apple long. It's I'm already disappointed with this trade.
Look, obviously, Dominic, I wouldn't be too happy about the fact that I'm long COGT. Remember, I'm kind of a curse with these when I don't short them, right? Because I talked about like the 8 break, and then yeah, there's a bunch of sellers in front of the quarter, which is usually the first target. The same thing happened the second time it got to that quarter, so I then took more shares off, and then waited for it to get down to that 760 for a bit of a bounce. If it can't respect these levels, and guess what? The old play, which old Neil would have been wick high, short 795 here, and then getting some out at 760. Instead, I'm actually buying the dip. So we'll see if going the other way was the right call. My gut tells me that I should stick to the plan usually, but we stuck to the plan in Micron.
Yep.
It's not case closed just yet. We're gonna try and knock this one out. I got a bad wick on Intel while all this was going on and got stopped out of Intel, which did not take out the high of the day. And I can tell you that is that's a lack of preparation. I should not be out of Intel. I'll try to get back into it, but the market just flushed on me. Wick highs all the way through on Micron. And shout out Brankles, Brandon. We've been talking about this level back and forth at 66. And it was like, we both reminded each other, remember Micron 66, man, that's going to go if we have bad CPI print. Well, heck, it was probably going to go anyways. It probably didn't matter. But you get below a level like that on the daily chart, and you just want to be short till you're not. And I feel like if there's one thing that you want to be in all day long, it's something that's taking out a big floor. We'll see if that's the case. Netflix actually showing some signs of strength. Like its 85 level, we've been able to scalp the first portion, but it won't take any levels out further to the downside. Like all you're seeing is barcoding in a lot of these names. And as a matter of fact, only now, actually just now, a couple of seconds ago, did we take out these levels on the futures. And I know Arun talked about the contracts changing over. Yep. As a trader, he changes them over on the Friday because he trades the front. As someone who uses them as an indicator, I change them over on the Mondays as a habit. Next time, to conform with Arun, I'll actually change my charts to the front contract. So I am looking at the M, but obviously I could have changed it to the U to accommodate Arun. That's my bad.
Okay, yeah. So we'll, geez, like, I'm doing it again. I'm doing exactly what I said I wouldn't do, and I'm doing it because Amazon, my target was 111, and yet I'm getting out of this trade. Like, it's just crazy why I'm even out of some of these trades. It's absolutely nuts. We should just be going short on absolutely everything. This market continues to tick down, 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 down. So, yeah, there we go, man. Apple's going to take out 138.50. What's up, Brendan?
Yeah, here comes another one, guys. Stitch Fix, I just saw rolling over. If you missed it, not good for their earnings after market yesterday. Huge volume as we broke back through 675, almost 20% now for SFIX.
Yeah, I knew there was something that I was forgetting about this morning when we were going over all those names, and it was definitely Stitch Fix. But you know what? It hasn't taken out its low yet. So, yeah, you just rolled over from the bottom, but oddly enough, it hasn't taken out that bottom. Still a chance it wants to bounce. If anything, it was just like DocuSign. It was a bit of a breakout. Doesn't take out the low on a huge gap down and bad earnings. It breaks out and then gets to the high. Like how? I can't tell you how many times I've seen that setup work, and instead when I come in, I'm trying to short off of the highs, and I'm not even considering that breakout. It worked on DocuSign. You could have had it on Stitch Fix. I don't want to ignore DD here, people. Because if it's the last day for the stock on the exchange, I don't know, maybe it does go to the OTC, maybe they do get their listing in Asia. But if I see this thing try to go up too heavy, I think there's going to be a shorting opportunity on DD if there's any kind of a bounce. If you're continuing to watch Tesla here, it's managing, now with the market starting to come back in, it's managing to still hold above that 700. I didn't get that 700 reversal. I was kind of hoping I'd get NEO instead for whatever. I just like NEO better today. It was that level that it held in the afternoon. I didn't get into Tesla 700, and then I never got the NEO long anyways. If we come back in, I'd rather see it bounce off a level and then try any longs than stand in front of anything. I'm not standing in front of bids unless it's something that held up well in the afternoon, yesterday's trade. One of those was Alibaba, and that 110 level, it's got a wick bottom through that 110. So that did hold up, but look where this came from. It fell $5 into that level. Yikes. Even Alibaba about to turn red here.
Yeah, I mean, there's everything is going. I mean, it's just so crazy because we started the day. Remember, I was like, oh, we want to smash Amazon to the downside. My target was 111.50. That's already been hit, and I'm not short. And then Microsoft, we wanted that 260 break. I thought that was going to be the best one, and there it is right there. It gives us a 260 break at 9:30 even, 9:33, sorry. So it bounced around a little bit there. It was kind of chaotic off the open, so it's not like I don't really blame myself for not having it right off the open, but a couple minutes in, we could have easily had this. And now, of course, I look at it and say, oh, maybe we're at the bottom. But we're not. I mean, you know, these names just keep on falling down. We're trying to bottom pick Apple. We're trying to bottom pick AMD, of which neither appears to be working right now. So here we go. Like, AMD is going to drop out at 97.50. We've already been down here before. This is getting uglier on this long. And I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to get this in. There is a big order at 138 for Apple. I don't know. I don't want to be in it for that long. I don't know. Is there a big order at 138 for Apple? I don't see that far. I mean, I can see that far down. I don't see that far down on all the books, so I'm not sure if there is one at 138. But again, I think that Apple, when you're looking at the chart, it's just been a nasty, nasty day to the downside here today and the last couple days. And this is the thing that I'm just most upset about, because we've been wanting these shorts. It's just that when I look at them, I feel like the shorts are just overextended, but they're not. There's so much room to the downside here on pretty much all of these names. So there goes AMD taking down that 97.50. We're still in it, but not going to be for too much longer, as, yeah, we got to start licking the wounds here a little bit.
I just said, I'm like I can't get into that Neo. Well, that bid finally hit. COG-T, I guess maybe we're not cursed on it after all. That just bounced off that 760. And remember, like, what happened at 750? Like, when it was here, there was a big seller. And when I say big seller, I'm going to guess it was someone actually shorting it off that level when it rejected the breakout at 760. So someone was shorting it at 750 that got stopped. So when it gets back to that price, there was a bit of a buyer. So if I would usually short it here to here, then that's where you want to reload the long. But it still can't get past this 825, everybody. Like, there's sellers galore every time it gets to that price. And that's day traders probably once again. So I don't know if it has the second leg in it. We'll have to see. Keep my ear to the ground on that one. But Neo, I just got into that long. So we'll see if it ends up holding that bottom. So Neo, we talked about that 845 to 860 channel. Well, we're long in front of it now, and we're kind of holding on for dear life. Netflix is holding about $1.50 to 2 in the money and doesn't want to seem to go any further. Micron is kind of doing the same thing, where it's giving you the shorts, it's come down, but it's not really testing those lows that we saw after the CPI number. So, like we said, man, it's 10 o'clock now, where it's like, revisit some of the things you liked. Are they still valid? The futures are on their lows.
Yeah.
You know, so if something...
But they're not really bouncing.
And we're not really moving off of it here. So if you really like some levels, kind of go back to that. Like, I wanted to go back to Pinduo Duo. Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously not going to get... Yeah, you're not getting the prices that you would have had when we sat down. But, you know, Pinduo Duo, it did make a huge move to that 63. That was a big level the other day. We liked 63. And we're probably not going to be able to see that. So going back... I kind of hoped, like, oh, that's at a level I like to short. Maybe I jump in. It's $3 away from it, so I'm not going to be getting that trade.
No, and I mean, I'm about to get stopped out. Like, AMD just tried to go back up to the upside. It didn't go. Like, all of these trades are not going to the upside. So you might as well just end that discussion right now. And if it does start to go at some point, but, I mean, right now, no. I mean, just lower, 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 lower. All these names just keep collapsing back in right now. So for the short, like, if you've been in any short today, then you're just laughing, because everything keeps on breaking. So some nice moves to the downside here today. I mean, it's unbelievable that I'm not still short Amazon. We've already talked about that. XOM, maybe that's positive, as oil right now rallying back to positive here. Oil. What's AMC? AMC's 1250. That's not bad. Remember, you have Jurassic Park coming out this weekend as well.
That's this weekend.
Yeah, Meta. Yeah, it's this weekend. Meta maybe here as well. It just took down 180 on Meta. That was a level that we liked as well. Where's that short rate here from the morning? 179. Yeah, 180 coming on Meta. Yeah, this market just keeps on. For some reason, though, Microsoft right now is holding out at this 2. I mean, this may. Like, I'm going to look at this and want to go long, so that's going to be a huge mistake there. But AMD down to 97 again, and yeah, just some of these names just keep on getting hit, man. There's no bids here.
Yeah, I mean, so Peter just is it Peter Olson asking we're not looking at the higher time frame? I am. I mean, I'm basically sitting in the shorts. The long I have Neo, I like to off support because relative strength, and then COG-T doesn't care what the market does. It's just a small cap that's running. But I'm holding on to the shorts. I mean, I just want Netflix to make the move with the market. It just won't fall any further. And it's the same thing with Micron. It's going down. It's in the money, but it's not really flushing any further at this point. And I see the trend overall. Like, we are still possibly heading to next support levels. Like, look at this. But we're in a chop zone, I think, on the NASDAQ. So we might have some trouble in this next, you know, like 100 points down if we're going to continue to flush. And someone just said NVAX had some relative strength. so it could be a short the pop
Wow.
situation. Well, I got called, what was I called? I was called a nasty name on Twitter for shorting NBACs. I'm not going to say it on air, but someone called me a nasty name for day trading short because a day trader has anything to do with the company failing in the long term, right? But it's 10 o'clock. It's time to get to the big screen to see what's happening now. Market be falling.
Yeah.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock, not good. Here's a look at where we're at right now. A lot of red to show you here. 2.3 for the S&P. The Dow about 2.1% to the downside. We'll jump down here. The NASDAQ leads, but only just. It's worth mentioning 2.8, 2.6 for the composite in the 100. Small caps week. You get the picture. It's a, to quote Trader Prad, free fall Friday so far. Trader Prad back in the building today, by the way. Stick around for 11 o'clock. NIO, we mentioned pre-market finally taking out the pre-market lows here on decent volume to the downside. 2% now for NIO. Tesla as well. On the same front, got up to almost 720, and that was about it for the day, guys, it would appear. Back over to you.
All right, we
For
found
the record, when he said NIO, I literally got stopped out at the bottom of my channel.
Yep,
It was right as you said it, Brendan. So as usual, the psychic powers that are Brendan, a lot of times it's a winning trade. This time, it's and of course it's a long, right? Like it's a long, so it's a loser in this market. Look, I mean, now Netflix is going because obviously we're taking another leg down. But guess what's going to the upside that I didn't just take out at 850? COG-T is, whoops, that is my 3-minute chart. COG-T is continuing to rally to the upside. It did bounce off that 760. If I'm hunting for shorts at some point at 10, which I'm definitely going to wait out for, I want to see this battle get waged. I can't do it. I can't stay too far away from, sort of the way I look at these markets and the way I sort of structure these things. And if I see a wick top at a level like this, I'm always going to be thinking I should be trying to get out of here. It's like there's a wick top through that 850 level. It's a nice round number. It just bounced off 750, 758. 850. I'm going to get out. I'll just be happy to have gone long one of these without shorting it. That's a win in and of itself, right? Like to not get run over unnecessarily. I'll get run over at $10, but just not here. Like at $10, I'll get run over willingly because I think that's a level that'll make some sense for this. Tesla, by the way, yeah, 700, so much for that holding. It did do the wick bottom. It did hold 700. Now it's gone through the bottom. I don't think I have many long ideas that are still valid at this point. Everything is just about breaking down. Now Micron is taking out the low, so we're holding on for dear life. Netflix is also about to take out the bottom here at 181. 180 is a psychological level more than anything else. I'm not defending a 180 on Netflix. Decent chance if we really get ugly here, Netflix could be at 177. That could be an ultimate target for that. We talked about BABA having some relative strength with the rest of the Chinese group. Well, BABA got through that 110. It might have some support left at 108. But look at the gap on BABA if it breaks that 108 channel. Like all I see is these shelves that look really ugly below. Brendan?
It's amazing just watching a volume scanner here, guys. The anything inverse ETF, so financials, tech, I mean SPXU, SDS, FAZ, they're just streaming right now on this volume scanner that I watch. Here's a 10-year. I showed you this right after that number came out. It got up to 308. We're at 312 and a half now, taking out day highs on the 10-year.
Yeah, we finally went short on something here. We've taken some dollars off. I mean, we just went to Microsoft. I mean, finally, we went short at 256. Obviously, it's down now in the money $1. Like, it's so easy to get these trades short. Not easy to get them. You got to, wait for a key level, I feel like. But once you get these shorts, man, it's just like bleed. And then you have no problem getting out, like pretty much of any price you want. So we are now close to being out of everything here on Softy. Our best out is down here. 86 on the downside there on that first break. So that's a good little trade. I'm just going to start to get, there it is. I mean, just tanked again into the teens. Like, you get any price you want. So we made back a little bit of money here on that one. We made back what basically the only losers today was going to be AMD and Apple, which suck. Obviously, TQQ was a monster winner for us. Would be so much better now if we just held that short. But there it is, making a nice little bottom there, TQQ. Maybe that is something. Brendan just said some of these ETFs are going nuts. nuts here, as I could just imagine some of the inflows and outflows that are starting here, if they haven't already. People taking money out on this number, big time flush to the downside today. Another 3% to go with NASDAQ, 3% yesterday. That's 6% in like 4 market hours, guys. So yeah, big move downside here. And you know, maybe we are finding some bottoms, but again, to be picking bottoms hasn't worked in this environment. So we'll just continue. We're almost out of Microsoft, so not really worried about this one. Yeah, I feel like we got to look for some longs, but maybe not until we take down 12,000 right there on the NASDAQ. So we got to get back above this little level there, the 50 period. Let's see if we can do that. 12,000 on the NASDAQ is sort of where I feel like the peg is.
Yeah, I just rang the register. It's not that I'm drawing a line in the sand, but Micron, which is fantastic, just put a wick bottom through the low of the day, so I got out of it. Wick bottom on this market. I'm going to hold on to Netflix to be sure, but I saw a few things starting to bounce
Amazon.
here. Yeah, there's definitely some bounces starting to happen here, at least attempting to, but not, you just said Amazon, right? Like, oh, good wick on the chart.
I'm pissed off about Amazon because
it did bounce 110.
Whatever, it's not, I mean, this is so stupid. Like, I was short Amazon 129s, yesterday like 122s, 124 the day before, short today 114, and I take $1, like $1.50. Like, it's ridiculous that my out there is 112 even before the market opens. But anyways, down to 110. All we have written on here is all shorts, and I lost all the money long and only made money short. So obviously today, that's something, man. Like, that sucks. And yeah, you should, I mean, anyone that bought Amazon because of that split, it had that split day out. We talked about that with Google. You take the win when that comes out there. I have Amazon in the long term, so obviously should have still got out of it, but everything's collapsing now. JP Morgan, some of the banks starting to go to the downside. Goldman Sachs at 52-week lows. JP Morgan, look at this move, straight to the downside as well. Really no bottoms for any of these names. So I don't know what we're gonna go to. I wanted to go back to AMD, but I'm getting destroyed on AMD today. So the longs just haven't been working on that one. Maybe a bottom there at 96, but it's not like coinciding with anything. It's just that wick bottom there of 96. So I think if we can get back down in, I don't want to buy tops, but if we can buy like 96.30s or 96.40s, I think that might be worth it here on AMD just to give it to that 96. It was a strong name early, remember, so if this market picks up, I think this is going to be the right long. I mean, we tried to get Meta. Remember, I was thinking about a 180 break, or was it 180 break long? And that's sort of been holding. That looks like that's going to be a good short there. So there's a few names to look at. There goes Microsoft right back in again after making a 256 run. Now back down to 255.30. So we'll take one more piece out here on Softy, and then we'll go from there. But so far, so good on this one. Here comes the market right back down to lows again, Neil. So, I mean, the shorts, hold on to them until you get a reason to get out, man. People talking about going Disney long, we'll look at that.
Yeah, I mean, even DocuSign. So I got out of DocuSign on the curl at 69, and it does go to 70. But now that it's made the push to 70, this was the level that I was waiting for it to get to attempt to short in DocuSign. So now that we've come here, I'm going to look for something in that 69 half range off of that high. That's to finally get into DocuSign. Tesla, peace out. So I think I probably stole that from the chat because I think I saw somebody say that. That just, oh no, it hasn't broken the low, but it's breaking the low right now. 693. I believe another. Breaking the low right now. 693. I believe another low. I'm just looking for something that I can actually short on a pop that isn't DocuSign. We talked about some of the Chinese names showing some strength. Pinduoduo. It's still up 2.5%, but these, I mean, these all fell as well, right? Like these, it's down at 60 bucks here. I'd need to short this at 62. Like there's not enough of a bounce to try to short these pops. I don't want to be shorting off these lows. If it didn't break the low, I think you're risking a lot trying to catch one of the relatively strong names. So I'll hold on to Netflix. I think you can still get to at least 180. Brendo, what do you got?
It's anything and everything right now. Here's a note on the automakers, guys. I'll show you Ford in a second here, but this report this morning just emphasizing record high gas prices currently throughout the U.S. So GM, Ford, even STLA, which is Stellantis, all getting cracked. Heavy volume right now on Ford, down 3.5%, guys.
Oh, I see you,
man. 130. Like now, Apple's at 138, testing me again down here. Disney. I mean, you guys called this out. I mean, we would say we'd look at this. Disney right here, 100, man. Like that bottom was 99. Yeah, here's 100 on DIS. Like, and again, possible good levels here. But look what the chart looks like. I mean, to stand in the way of this is just crazy. Microsoft back down to day's low right now. So there it goes, man. I mean, if all these names are getting beat up, I know you had Intel down to 39.50. Not even that.
My God.
That's not even that bad, actually.
It's not? Okay, then I don't feel as bad.
No, 1% only Intel down today. So, I mean, it's still bad in the scheme of things, but it's kind of trying to hold up as well. So there is that there on Intel. But I don't know, man. I don't know where the longs are going to be. We're going to need to retrace a little bit. We just have to stick with our guns here about this 12,000 level. Until we see anything like that, man, this is just a downside move here today. I'm just disgusted about Amazon being down to 110, and I'm not short that name. But Microsoft, we're still in that short. That's $1 in the money. And other than that, man, just waiting to find some longs.
Yeah, and look, I saw someone ask about Shopify. It's like, if it takes the PE ratio any further, it could go a heck of a lot further on a PE basis. But because it broke 350, one thing just came to mind. Sometimes in a trend like this, maybe just look for really big price levels, and then as a day trader, you can just scalp the break. Because if you don't have any shorts that are still setting up or that you're not holding on to, it's so easy to want to try to catch those bids. So I'm looking over to anything that gives you a chance to break a key level. So AMD just went through 96. That's probably already gone through one. And maybe a Tesla 680 if it happens to get to that. NVIDIA, which is the other name. Load up here. Yeah, that's getting close to a 170 level on NVIDIA. Like 170 on NVIDIA. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I had a level written down for this, and it never came anywhere close to giving you a fade off 180. But this is another name. Like, look at this. Like, it just had this as resistance 170 like 2 weeks ago. Broke out from there and didn't go 10%. It went 15% to the upside. And now we're right back to that level. And that's still 10% off of the May low.
Yeah.
Like, think about that for a second. In this, NVIDIA is about to test a level that is 10% up from the May lows. So that's how big the rally was in AMD and NVIDIA, and we're only halfway back here. So watch this 170 level on NVIDIA. If it's huge, and I mean huge, I would take like an 05 or like, an 01 or an 03 long. If it's nothing there, I might just try to scalp the short through.
Okay, so we'll people in the chat talking about NIO. So yeah, we'll definitely have a look at this one because, again, I'm trying to think that this Nasdaq's going to bounce, but it's been completely wrong so far here today. NIO obviously down here. We have some weakness in the. Brendan just mentioned there the car sector. So industry, there should be automotives should be coming back in here on the daily. We do have 1755 there. But, I mean, here it comes, just a move to the downside. We like the long. There was some good news from NIO today. So we'll sit in this. We're long at 1820 right now. If you look at a daily chart, and again, we're just trying to sit, or maybe it's a 20-minute chart, looks a little bit better. $18 has held a couple times. I mean, to zoom out on some of these charts is kind of ridiculous because you were so far down from some key levels right now, but there's 18 right into here. So there was some consolidation around this level. So let's go long on NIO and see if we can make a little bit back here on that long. AMD again, wow, 95.50 right here. I mean, maybe there's a level for AMD that we like, but it's, I mean, we've already tested some of these longs here and hasn't really worked out today. So big time movement in the last 3 days, man, down from 110 down to 95 and getting into this area again for some support. But every area like that was support. We had support at 98. And then maybe this is the final support 90, but we're well off of that. So let's just look at our NIO long that we have right now. It's back into the money, 1 cent off that average in rate down here. So, lots of room to go on NIO. We're going to have to hold out for that big move. I'm thinking back to here, like 1860 maybe is where we'll get out, but we're going to drop it if it breaks 18. That's NIO. It just looks like, any retracement in this market, man, things are just getting sold. Yeah. So be very, very careful with all of your positions right here.
Yeah, and just in terms of key levels, NVIDIA didn't quite get to that. It looks like it printed 170.18. I didn't really see that, but was trying to catch a bid off of 170. I might have missed that chance to get it. Amazon bouncing off of 110 here. So there are some key prices that are actually holding right now. I might try one of these, and the one that's closer to a key level, it happens to be Amazon. Netflix is catching a bounce. That's the only short that I'm still in. So I am looking to see if I can get some I might not actually get exactly 110. We'll see if we can get something on Amazon down there. That COG-T, by the way, I probably got out, whoops, it's COGT. I probably got out of it a little bit too early, but you got to stick to your plan. It just reversed off 9, still trending pretty well to the upside. It looks like it's in a collision course with that key $10 level. Tesla did hold that 690. It got through 693. For now has held. I'd much rather something which is really tight to a big level, and that's going to be Amazon here, which I just got into. And remember, we're day trading here, so I understand, like, for a lot of people, you're like, yeah, but just go with the short trend. For me, like, the long in front of 110 here, the risk is about 40 cents. Even a small bounce can probably take you to 111 here, and that's essentially what I'm going to be playing for. But if this goes through 110, this is not one of those, oh, I'm giving it to 109.70 or I'm giving it to 109.50. Now I'm giving it to 109.99. If it breaks 110 by a penny, I want to be out of this trade.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing, right? Neil and I hopefully don't enter too many trades without having some kind of a plan, although sometimes for me it seems like I don't. But right now we are back long Microsoft right here. We can see if it wants to hit off. And again, this is going to look crazy because I was short, so these look like all, you know, crazy buys, but we're just going long now on Microsoft, and we're long at 16s, so it's in the money slightly here. Any kind of, I mean, I was just literally at 35 trying to take some out on a bump back up. Don't want to be there. Did I just get those? No, I did not again. So I don't know what happened. I thought I just got 35s there. Let's see. Come on, 35s. There it is. Okay, so there we go. We get it out. Some out anyways on Microsoft. Let's see if it retraces back to the upside. Again, you know, when these moves are starting to happen here, the longs have been wrong, but I feel like when I look at it, you know, some of these levels, there is some bouncing happening here. So, you know, take a little bit out. If you can hold something for a big move back to 12,000 possibly on the NASDAQ, then you might be prudent to do that. But again, these shorts have been fire, man. They've been awesome, and I just feel like it's a little silly here to talk about holding longs forever. So let's just get out on any kind of a bump up. I mean, we're making money back on these plays, so it's not the complete end of the world. You know, if we were stuck in PDT and we were like stuck long right now, then that might be a little bit of a concern. It's just there's going to be bouncing opportunities. You can see we're making some money back. There goes NIO, a little bit back up to the upside. Hopefully Softy can make that same move back, and we'll try to make back like half or so of what we've lost on. I mean, again, my big red stock here is AMD. We trusted it today. It failed on us multiple times. Just kept breaking. I mean, these aren't, it's bigger shares, so the hits suck, that's all. But yeah, it's a nice move down for AMD. Maybe that bottom was 95.50, but what looks different than 95.50 than 96.50, right? So that's my problem right now, not yours. So we're gonna try to find some better positions here for you. Look at CGC, $3, Tilray, $3. Like, some of these names, man, bob it down to 109, and then the biggest disgrace of all is this Amazon trade, because we really still should be short or trying to get more names into the short side of things. But look, there's the bounce off 110, right? So I look at this and I'm like, hey, maybe I should be long, but I shouldn't be long. So Neo, nice little move to the upside. Let's take some out.
It did just give the bounce, but it only got to about 70 on Amazon. So that's a way better trade if you actually have like 10s to 20s. I got the 30 bounce. I'll try it one time really tight to that 110. The other thing to remember is it breaks that low at 110. Like, you can also just short that, right? Like, I can actually try to reverse that trade. It can be tricky because for us, we're firing 2 orders, by the way. I can't reverse if I'm long on 1 order. I can't just send an oversized order. One has to sell my position. The other has to go short. That's just a regulatory thing that we abide by. Not everybody does, but we do. So watch Amazon 110. It's about to come in here. Scalp some out. So at least we got something out of that long bounce, but it looks like it's about to break. Brendo on the small cap recap. I see you got that one to the big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, not much to do really. I mean, the overall market move kind of taking away attention from small caps today, but COGT up on positive news. Again, it was a blood disorder trial, came back positive results. So big move for them today. You can see just absolute monster volume so far today on this thing on a daily chart. If you go to a daily chart, I mean, there's a bit of a wall at 9 and then 950, 10 above that. But that last high on the daily chart was 9 even. So we're there right now. Let's see what happens. Still great volume on COGT. I had to try this twice. There was a huge seller that showed up right at the open. and pushed it back below key level 650 at the open, but was easily taken out. So a nice move for COGT. The only other one I was looking at was PALT up on an acquisition this morning, but 280 on a daily chart was a great level. If you missed that, there was no bounce on PALT, guys. Back over to you.
Paltry bounce on that one. Okay, so, you know, Microsoft did take down this 255. We didn't get out. We were waiting a little bit lower than that, so saved a little bit temporarily here on Microsoft. So back into the money on this trade and into the money on the long here on NIO. So we're just trying to take some out as it goes back up. It went up to 30 there and completely stopped. So initially we were looking at this 44, 45 level and then back in here to the 50 period. I think that's a good bid if it gets up to 1850. I think we've done well to retrace back there. So far so good if that does come into play. But Microsoft getting ready to get out of that one as the low of the day here is 254.70. So we're right here right now. Again, like, where's my 256 short? We gave it up. And here it comes in right now. Microsoft going to take out the bottom and we'll be out. This was actually net fine. Because we did get some outs here in the 30s and 40s, but there it goes back, sliding down again goes Microsoft and all of these names, man. So, yeah, the NASDAQ tried to rally, but not really. It's definitely a short day. You just got to keep on those shorts, keep on the right spots there. AMD actually did retrace back up, and I was close to thinking about a short in this name, but again, like, I just feel like the market's too far down now, but I keep getting proven wrong. Down another 3.5% right now. So, yep, you got to be short something, and it's just so stupid. I mean, I agree with you right there, UP Trade. Like, shorting these lows is just risky, and that's
it is risky.
And that's the thing. It's risky, but you know, we're here to trade, and sometimes you got to take some risk. But yeah, right now it doesn't look like we're taking the right ones, as everything just finds no love, no bounce. I got to find an indicator that's going to somehow tell me, Michael Noss was talking about the money flow indicator there, something that's going to tell us that, hey, maybe the selling is done. And right now, I mean, it's almost the best trade is to sit on your hands. I mean, I don't know what's working out here other than shorts. Some of these longs just not. We're in NEO hoping that that one can work out. It did work out. It popped in the money 10 cents and then that was it. So you can lose 10 cents in a heartbeat, but you got to make it hard on the long side. So that should be an indicator right there.
There is so I saw a stacked bid on BABA at 109. I'm talking 13,000 shares on 4 different gateways, the exact same size on 4 different gateways. Means that's an algo or someone using an automated system to try to push the stock to the upside and fake it up. This is not a fake order here on looks like Amazon. Yeah, but 100,000 shares just on the NASDAQ book at the even 110. Obviously, that's not the only book. So there's a few other books that'll probably be large. You probably have a pretty sized bid on that 110 level. So the longer we hang out there, I think I'm going to try and do that scalp trade. I will tell you, I am long this stock. As I get out of it, if it bounces to the upside, my orders are going to code and they're going to look like short sells. They're not, but I am trying to reverse this at 110 to the downside, which means I have 2 different stop orders, one of which is going to end up coded to get me short. And because that's out there, these are, if it does pop here, you will see purples. That does not mean I'm shorting this pop on Amazon. I want to go short through that level break. COG-T has a wick top through 9 even. This is hard for me to resist. You got to 9, look at it barcode off 9. A lot of times I would be all over this one. It is hard not to want to look for that trade. Wow, Amazon just went through. I just got out and just got into the short side of the trade. So I actually got 88s on Amazon is my short price. 88s. That's not even that good of a fill. That's crazy slippage, man. There's so much liquidity. You should get a better price than that.
Isn't that crazy? Like, we've been talking about that Amazon short for a freaking long time, man. And now it finally comes in. Okay, here's NEO right now. Not finally comes in. It's come in the last couple days. So, all right, we're loaded up now on NIO. So 17 break. We're going to get out, obviously, of this one if it does break through. Sorry, 18 breaks. I'm just setting my order right now to get out if this does break back down lower. We don't need to be in this name if it breaks lower, so we will do exactly that and get out if it does come through. So right now, there's NIO. Our position's right here, 13. So we're long at 13. We've averaged into this trade. Let's see if it can go back up to the upside right now. Big time movement, man. A lot of the traders on the floor pretty happy with today's moves, and why not? If you've been short, you've been banking right now. So nice little Sam Bankman-Fried today on that one. Let's go over. Hey, talk about Sam Bankman. Let's go check out what Robinhood's doing. I'm sure it's having a good day. Robinhood down today, another 3%. And again, you look at some of these levels, like maybe we're holding out here. I don't know why. I mean, we only went over here because of Sam Bankman, but Roblox down 9% today. That's still moving to the low side as we look, man. Netflix, that's 183 right now. That's pretty low. Square down 7%. I mean, everything is just bleeding. Is PayPal sub 80 yet? Yeah, there it is. PayPal breaks 80, down to $79. Like, the bleeding is here, and it's continuing. And yeah, it's a bloodbath today for sure. Add today plus yesterday, and yeah, you're not, we were making fun about getting divorced. Well, if you didn't get divorced yesterday, maybe today might be your day. So get ready to get locked and loaded here. But we're long Neo off of some strength here at 18. Keeps trying to bounce off. No idea where we go from here, but I don't know how your Amazon
that
worked.
break was no good.
Okay.
Like it got there was a stack bid at 70 and then a bit of a bid at 80. So it wasn't a huge bid at 80. It was enough to get some out in front of it, and then it was a stack bid below it, so it couldn't really break. It'll have to settle below that price, I think, to try to engineer back into the short. But I'm not going to fight it too much there. I just really don't want to be fighting anything this low. Like, you're shorting bottoms if you're trying to take these.
Yes, that's the problem.
And that's the problem with shorting up a bottom like that. Like, you don't want to get trapped at a low. Like, look at Netflix, right? Like, I get out of Micron, and I felt like you could have said it was way too early to get out of Micron. Netflix, I decided not to get out because I think it can test 180. It bounces off the low, so I got out of Micron on the low. Now Netflix is coming right back to the entry price at 185. And think about this for a second. The market is still at the bottoms. Netflix just tested right back to our entry price. So that's one where I did think that it had, I thought it could go to 177 if it took out that floor. So I really liked holding on to this, but I don't want to give it all and then have it turn red. This gets to 185 and the market bounces from here. Netflix could put a pretty big recovery on, so I have to watch this one pretty closely. DocuSign, it's still barcoding off that level. There was one shot to that 70, and then looks like it's trying to hold off here. I do want the short in DocuSign off 70. I don't want to chase it $1.50 away. This is not a day to be chasing levels. I might try to get something a little bit closer and just above 69, but I don't like a 68 half entry where I've beaten it already. And Tesla, by the way, back to 700. So this is putting a little bit of a bottom. I don't want to chase any of these longs too far. I want to see some actual indications that a strong name is holding above a key
I got
level.
one, finally.
What's moving? Neo?
Finally, Neo. I mean, we'll ring the register. I'll spin it for Neo, but I mean, this is not for my account today. I'm doing it because we just talked to Bear about, honestly, we made back a lot. I mean, it was my biggest position down here at 18. More just because, we had Neo in, we have some talk on the Chinese names, but even as it says this, like, I'm getting ready just to get out of some of this right now on NIO. But yeah, big damage done today for me on AMD, and that was really the only name that I'm really that worried about. We're like quite positive on Microsoft today. Microsoft's a big name for me today off that short of 256. So we finally shorted that. That's a big name for me. It looks like hopefully NIO can be a big name, but again, we're out of just under half of our trades here into the mid-20s. So that's worked out from an 18-10 long. So far, so good on that one. I'm just really disappointed with my trading on AMD. And it's been a tough market today. There's been no bounce. So that's really the hard part about it. But I say those things, but I don't really mean them because, Amazon hasn't been hard, man. Like, Amazon short has just now not worked. But, like, all through this, man, we were looking Amazon short. So that was pretty easy, right? Like, Amazon was a good short. Other names that have been falling off the face of the earth, NASDAQ names, Microsoft, short through that 260 was pretty easy. Like, we were freaking short Apple to begin with the day at 140. Like, it's down to 137. It's patience, it's patience, it's patience. If you had the short, you should have held on. It's easy to say now. The market's been open an hour. It is what it is. That's the worst thing to say in this market. But honestly, you got to hold your positions. You got to believe one way or the other. And I'm getting ready to, like, wait for this market to blow up a little bit here. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but you keep trying to test little highs here. But as you look, these bottoms, like, where was that a bottom? Was that a bottom? Like, we're still making, like, lower highs here. High, high, high. Like, these lower highs keep coming in. It doesn't look like we're out of the woods at all on these shorts. This could be a NASDAQ down 4 or 5% day. So get ready here. We keep on retesting highs and then breaking them back down. So until you break through like this like 11,900 or whatever this high is right here, 11,920, then you're not going to go anywhere. So this is a sideways market. Until then, I think you hold on to your longs, have your key outs, and just wait to see what this market wants to do. It's a losing day if you're long. Unfortunately, you're going to have to live with that right now. What's up, Brendan?
I mentioned some of the travel names early on this morning, guys. Confirmed now. As of Sunday at 12 a.m., no more COVID tests required for international travel, air travelers into the U.S. But all of these have given everything back. So we had a pretty good move on AAL initially, right back to day lows. Some of the cruise lines popped up on that note as well, right back to day lows. Wanted to mention this quickly as well. PBTS, big runner yesterday. Number of halts yesterday, trying to take out day highs, guys.
Can we just not talk about that stock, maybe? PBTS. I've on purpose, I'm not even bringing it up because it stunk for me, but you don't do that. I will get to it in a second. I'm kind of joking. But in the chat, it was mentioned here, Microsoft, one name that has failed to actually be breaking down any further. That's what you want to look for something which is trying, it's a kind of barcoding, but the last half an hour or so, it's really only had under $1 range, which is tightening up. So if the market tries to bounce, I think there's a chance that Softy can go. You know, get it above that 255, and it has a decent chance. The COG-T, it looks like it hasn't really blown out. That 905, that 9 level for rejection, looks like it would have been a good one. My eyeballs are on Microsoft now. You can get back above that 255 level for a chance at a long trade. Also, Alibaba catching a bid. And obviously, a few names caught bids. Baba off 108 actually broke back up and is trying to hold back towards those pre-market or those afternoon lows that we saw hold so well. This gets back above 110, and that gets really juicy as well. Remember, the Chinese names have all been super, super strong. It's all about relative strength sometimes in this market. So Alibaba back above this 110. If it goes anywhere and tries to consolidate here, I'll try to take a long in Alibaba. I'm only wanting to do so where it is relatively strong, as my chart just only now decided to fill back in there. It was PBTS. That was one that, I don't know if my trades will show up on this. Kind of hoping, here you go. You'll never have enough at the top. That's a reality when you do this. But it's getting right close to that 150 level where it turned around. Now remember, this is a stock that was a 1/4 cent for locates. 1/4 cent. So really, really ridiculously cheap. That's why it's squeezing. The one level that mattered yesterday, which is 150, is trying to chew through this as we speak now, guys. So if it fails at the same price, every now and then it happens, there is nothing on this offer, relatively speaking. The same amount of shares on this offer as were on the Amazon bid. Amazon's $110. This is $1.50. There's nothing on this offer.
All right. Like, super happy, obviously, with the way this Neo trade is working out. Nice little move. We have a little bit less than half now on this trade. So, again, whatever. We didn't put on a huge amount of shares on this trade, but still, it comes back up to the upside, and now we're just getting pieces out. So there comes again another piece out there at, I mean, it basically went right where we said it would. So again, like, am I disappointed that we got some out, or got out just about half at 30s here? Yeah, that sucks, because now we're going to the upside. But again, like, you got to really, really believe in longs in order to support your long positions in a day like today. With that being said, we did go back into TQQ right here. So we're long there off 27. That's at 27.20. Maybe we finally get that bounce. The NASDAQ is trying to do what I said, trying to take a leather look at this 50 period. Look, the last bounce we had went to the 50 period, faded. 50 period, faded. If we can get there, that's when, like, I really want to say, okay, maybe we have an upsized move here, and it is time to get out. So it's been a nice run to the upside. We did take something out there. Obviously, this 50 period is going to be respected in the same thing here on the NASDAQ or on the TQQ. So that's 27.36. So I actually have an offer at 27.30 because, you know, again, if we make it up to that 50 period, it bounced there, it bounced there. I kind of expect the same again. So let's see if that level is going to hold out for us on the 50 here for the NASDAQ. We will average in. We're going to get out if it breaks the low. This is a very, very structured trade for me. Like, we're in, we're bouncing around. I already know my idea here for the NASDAQ. So if it wants to bounce here, we'll hopefully have the right names with NEO, with TQQ, which is triple NASDAQ. So, you know, we're willing to take a long and see if it can blow up against us. About 15 cents against us is where we'll hold this. So again, expecting a bigger move to the upside. Risk to reward should be here right now in the market. So let's just see if we can respect some of these levels.
Yeah, and I did get into BABA. Like, it is doing what I kind of wanted it to do off that 110 level, which is hold for now. But I'll give it to like the lower high. But there goes that PBTS through 150, just got to 163. So forget about that even holding. And you just wanted to see an actual capitulation there. My daily, yeah, that doesn't want to load. Apologies, guys. But at this point, I'd be thinking $2. Either it fails here or $2. And that's what you got to consider. It's just an obviously strong move. I did get into BABA, like I mentioned. I got my stop in place, not to the low of the day. I don't think it makes any sense to give it to that level. You look back to what was off of this bottom at 110. Yesterday's low was a 109.5. And then if you zoom in enough, you can kind of see it. When we had the consolidation and the breakout, it's 109.5. That's where my stop is going to be. We get to VWAP and we can do better than 1-to-1. So that'll be the first exit point. And the trend is not your friend with this move. Let's just keep that in mind. However, you are seeing some signs of a bottom in the futures. We're not back to any of the key levels on the NASDAQ, but we're now actually sustaining a little bit of a bounce. It's more than just like 5 or 10 points here. So we are actually getting some kind of a bounce to try to energize some of these longs, or any of these longs, I should say. Tesla's back above that 700 level. Heck, I might be getting a reload on Netflix. 185 could come back into play. So I do want something to the long side. It was BABA that just set up and looked relatively strong. BABA is up on the day, by the way. It's up 0.5%, as you can see in the quarter. But that's because of the gap up overnight, the strength that you saw in some of the Chinese names. I bet you like Pinduoduo or Didi. Not Didi, my bad. They're probably down because they're getting delisted. But like Pinduoduo, Billy maybe. I didn't look at Didi. I just made an assumption. It's probably down. Yeah, it's down 5%. Yeah. I just kind of feel like maybe shorting DD was the lowest hanging fruit today, because you could have had size on that.
We got some money coming on NEO at least. Let's go, Brendo.
You mentioned gold briefly in the pre-market, guys. Just saw GLD back to positive on the day. Was down as well. If I zoom out here, you can see yesterday over here. But big volume coming in back to green for GLD.
GLD, yeah, I was just looking long apple. Okay, I like that SGL. I like this kind of stuff. Max Payne out there today. Yeah, whenever I start seeing stuff like Max Payne and stuff like that, like that's when the bottom's here probably, because that's the sort of the blowouts that you need, right? I mean, Microsoft's down 4% today. Look at this out, first of all. NEO, like that's why we dropped down the money there, because honestly, this was a great pickup for me. We had a lot of shares for myself here. We made back about half of our day alone on that trade there. So good so far on NIO, but yeah, wow, you know, now it's faded back. I mean, we were doing well at 55. Now it's come back in there on that number. And then look, dead on right there. We'll go, whoa, which we would cut them all out, but there's that 27.30 that came in for the TQQ. So long there at 27.05. Or what am I long? 06. Out there at 30s, you know, should have taken it all, but there it is. It goes right up to that 50 period. Called it right there. So, you know, there was opportunity to start to short some of those calls, which I should have exactly done. Thank you, Kevin, for that good call on NEO. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it. We made some money back on NIO, so thank you to Kevin. Thank you to Trader Joe for your kind words there as well. And look, you know, sometimes you stand in front of trains and they absolutely run you over, right? I feel stupid because, like, this AMD, realistically, if I would just hold some of these positions, some of the damage probably wouldn't be that bad right now, especially if we were able to get out at 97, because that last 96. But again, we're day trading. I'm levered up. My buying power is monstrous. So some of the positions that I take is just you can't hold them against you for too far. But I'm trying to get better at that. I understand that you know where my pitfalls are, and some of it has to do with patience, right? And including stuff like this. Like, why am I up on Amazon today? Because we were short early. And I mean, we have a video out here on, I mean, here it is right here on Twitter. I think I pinned it. Go like here. No, maybe I didn't, because now this is here. Oh yeah, here it is. Let's get this. Go see what I said this was what? Yesterday or 2 days ago, about why we liked Amazon short, right? All over there. So, you know, it's having patience. It's believing in some of your trades and just holding on to them. Like, to begin the day, man, we were short TQQ. Like, it's not like we didn't think the market was going to tank. There's the short right there off CPI, right? Big move there. But again, you get carried away with some of these levels, and that is what it is. But I guess once we're ready, we can go over to Sector Watch. Prad has his earpiece in, so I don't know what he was yelling about there. But Prad's in the building. Glad he's feeling better on what was a very important day to trade here today. So, Brendan at the big screen. That looks really colorful, not, Brendan?
Yeah, kind of one-sided on the board, I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever seen it this red before, but 2.4%. Glowing, in fact. You got to go way over here to some material stocks. Hey, there's Newmont, positive on the day. I can't even read the other one. It's so small right now. Some of the consumer staple stocks also in positive territory so far. I just noticed they still have FB on this board, and apparently FB is up 1% today. So I'll send a note to Reuters to tell them that symbol changed. Tech stocks, financials, consumer discretionary, all very, very red, guys. I mean, it is what it is. It's 2.4% right now for the S&P. Back to you.
Yeah, so what Pratt, I did hear Pratt just now, there's 200,000 shares on the offer of Micron at 63.80, which oddly enough is the exact price that I got out of my short before, which is weird because that was actually, this is where it was holding the bid. The pre-market low was the opening range or pre-market low actually was 63.65. It bounced off that price. And then right there, got out at 63.80. Now you have a big offer, and there's been resistance here this entire time. So maybe it jailbreaks from that price. I'm just trying to scalp at 75 to that level, see if I can take advantage of that large size order. You never really know. I also got into PBTS here. I said either it fails here or it goes to $2. So, you know, like yesterday, it was I would have been short here. I probably would have been short here and here and here and here and here and here and here, all of that nonsense. This time, actually wait for it to squeeze multiple times and then get into it. It ends up being at the exact same price that it did yesterday at 50. So 148 took you all the way to about 90 in yesterday's trade. My guess is day two. Maybe it's a little bit stronger today. I have no idea. We'll see what happens. But if it gets down to VWAP, see if we can't take some out. But that Micron, it's just big size on the offer. But keep in mind, it's done 7.5 million shares. So 200,000, is that 200,000? Yeah, 200,000 shares is a lot. But really, in the context of how much it's traded, it can get through that level. No problem. It's just a matter of trading off of it here. Now, that's why you're scalping it as opposed to thinking it's going to flush all the way to the low of the day. Yes, the trend is with us, but that's only movement off of that level because it's there.
Yo, what's up, Russell Jackson? I see you here. He changed his little member logo there to say floss it. I like that. We'll floss it off. Welcome back, Russell Jackson, one of our original members and everything like that. And Russell, don't worry, the bacon, again, one day will be flying around. So shout out to you, Russell. We definitely remember you on the show. And so thank you and welcome back, my friend, from all of us here. You've been a good friend of the show. Unfortunately, your Miss V is no longer with us. But we are looking, and very close, I don't want to say very close, but we have a couple more interviews to go, a couple third-round interviews to come about a new host coming to sit beside Brendan there on the big desk. So that should be really fun for all of us to see a new face, you know, get some fresh blood in here, and we're pretty excited about that. So all the hard work that Maggie and everybody's put in, and us, I mean, not us, I mean, we've been in a couple interviews, but for that, we're getting ready to rock and roll with more members on Trader TV Live. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe, regardless of what your account is up or down today. I hope that you're comfortable trading and that we've helped you, you know, look at some of these levels. So, you know, the best you could do, hit the like, become a member. It's $5 a month as well. That helps us out a little bit. But it's Trader TV Live. We're here every single day. And Prad's in the building, so getting ready to throw to him in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I'll thank Prad because he pointed out that Micron, which is working to me. But, again, I'm about to take a hit, and we'll see what happens. I mean, it's holding for now on Alibaba at 109.50. But that's about to break down. So once again, it's a long trade that I don't get out of right away for even like the small scalp that looks like it wants to take out the bottoms. It's just, you know, the shorts have been working. That's what's actually been paying today. That's what you have to take advantage of. Brendo?
Just reading about Quanergy Systems, which is QNGY. So it looks like they're a semiconductor company in the LiDAR systems making business, I guess. But here we go. QNGY, pretty parabolic at the moment, through 80 cents, guys, trying to get up to $1.
QNGY, yeah, lots of parabolic names, Chinese names going. We saw them do those going yesterday. Alibaba's back through 110 right now and actually green on the day. I know we've indicated that a couple times, but there's the break on Alibaba right now, trying to bounce to the upside, as some of these names are, man. I mean, we're 21 cents in the money on this TQQ as that's right back to this 50 period. This is kind of what we wanted, man. There goes NIO back up to the upside. We took a little bit out there at VWAP, so some things dancing around a bit here as we go. But yeah, Alibaba looking pretty good. I'm wondering about a 111. Oops, that's not Alibaba. That's NEO, because we're long that one. I'm wondering about Alibaba. I mean, there's VWAP at 111. You know, it's positive today. I've been talking about taking VWAP breaks and things like that. So yeah, maybe there is going to be something on some of these breaks, but there it is. Right again, man, testing. Look what we just did on the NASDAQ. Bounce, bounce, bounce. So we're right at that level. It's got to take it and hold it, man. It's got to take this 50 period and hold it. If we do that, then we may be in for a little bit of a surprise move to the upside here.
Yeah, and wow, Baba barely hung on there, so it did get right down to that stop, bounced right off of it. Sometimes that's just good fortune by a penny or two. And then we'll see if it can actually get back to VWAP. The market is trying to make a bit of a bounce here, so you just got to hang on for dear life. If you got the longs, have an out. That's all I can say, have an out. I was asked a couple of times in the chat about UVXY. And I got away from trading this, quite frankly, because every day there were just too many symbols to look at. And so to add something new just got really hard. Like the days where I wanted like 2, 3, maybe 4 things, it was easy to maybe trade this a little bit more often. But this it hasn't really gotten to where I would think about a short on UVXY, which is a little bit tighter, that 15, 20 level. That's at least what I'm looking at. It was a clean breakout though, and then like, this is where I miss out by trading it, because I had these all drawn. Every line I have drawn is like literally a week old. But if you look at this breakout that it just put on this morning, I probably should have had that break, but I'm not looking at anything until it gets to about 15.25. That's the level I have set for UVXY. So I appreciate the question. I do look at it still just to follow some of the trends of what's going on in volatility, but I haven't been trading it lately, unfortunately.
All right, just try to see, because we're getting ready to wrap this show up. There's still 15 minutes, man. A lot can happen in 15 minutes. Okay, so we just got out some more of that TQQ, because again, we're playing off that bounce there off the 50 period, bounce there, long, and a couple bounces out there. So it's actually been a pretty good trade for me here on the TQQs here today. It's a positive name for us, for me, obviously. Sometimes they say we and us, but I just mean myself, because Neil and I, again, we can trade. Sometimes we'll be in complete opposite positions. So, we don't trade against each other or with each other. Whatever we see, sometimes I don't even know. We're always looking up here to see what positions we're in.
Except when it's showing that.
Yeah, except for when it's showing that, of course. Yeah, so anyways, there's the bounces off some of these names. We didn't look at Snapchat yet. That's down 5%. That could be a name where Evan Spiegel came out and crushed his own stock not even that long ago, and today obviously is going to continue. That is at its day lows right now. So Snapchat relatively weak against the market, down 4.5% today, still making moves downside. You look at the 20 period, so there it is, just about as nasty as you can get. There's the move from, I don't know if that was the move from Evan there that day, 15 down to 13. I feel like it was more dramatic than that. Hold on a second, let me just zoom this back out. No, that might have been the day there, but there it goes, it gets all the way back to 15. I don't know why this chart's not loading, but anyways, some of these levels, I mean, you've just broken back down below. So 1340, 1350 here on Snapchat. Again, if you're looking for some longs, you're at some key levels here on Snap, so there could be something there. We mentioned, so Alibaba's back through 110. I don't want any of that, and I don't want any of that smoke until that goes through 111. Like, done buying some of these dips. It needs to make a move to the upside so that we can confirm some of this. Look at Disney, man. Disney breaks that 100 level, or does it? No, it doesn't. Disney goes down to 100 flat. Like, we even brought that up. Like, that's another key level there that Disney keeps bouncing off of. There's another bounce. It's, again, the 20-minute for some reason doesn't want to work, but here's Disney's daily chart. 100's held, all the way back to mid-May. So, and then even early May there it held as well. So the very bottom is 99.20. When I say about holding, give it down $1, that's worth it. But Disney today back down in. So that could be a level if you get back to 100 that you want to look at.
So I was asking the chat, no, I will not be reloading DocuSign at this price. We liked it off of the open because it was one of those and we've seen a bunch of them down over 20%, 15 to 20% earnings plays that couldn't take out the low, so it made the bounce. It ran. 70 was the level I wanted to short. That's where I thought it would turn around, so I wanted to short. I didn't get it. Obviously, there was other things happening, so we did miss out on it. At least we understood that that could be a top, but I don't like the reversal here. DocuSign, it was still, the market's still on the bottom, and DocuSign's still overpriced on a PE basis. It still had a horrible quarter, and they still guided. Like, it was a trade off of the open because we've seen that pattern this earnings season. I'm not even sure that even, like that type of a long, I'm not even sure that's been good past just this recent quarter for earnings on a name that wasn't even a huge short interest. So I will not be reloading it. I did reload Netflix for the short up here because, you know what, if the market wants to make another leg down, they had a negative catalyst and it's still holding that 185. So I will get back into that one to the short side. Baba's still barcoding up that 110, so I am still in it. But realistically, yeah, saw it. I just put in the chat. If Docu gets to 40s, there'd be serious buyers there. I could see that. You know, like if you go back far enough on the daily chart in DocuSign, I think I actually was talking about this with Brennan this morning. 40 kind of looked like the level that made some sense, and on a PE, maybe that makes a little more sense as well. I did want to jump over to NVAX just quickly because I feel like we've ignored this stock a little bit today. If you're looking for relative strength, we should not ignore something that's up 3% for the last couple of days that has been beaten up. But look where it bounced. Like, not a secret where NVAX caught a bid at $41. Whenever you see a liquidity vacuum and a wipeout in the stock, try to see where buyers come into it because that can be a pretty solid indication of support. And you've now seen it 3 days in a row. You've got a triple bottom in NVAX. Who, I mean, ultimately they did get the first step for their approval of their COVID vaccine, which might be too late, but either way, look at that 41 level, pretty strong for NVAX off that bid. Brendo, money talks. Let's go.
Hey guys, yeah, big moves on the currency board along with stocks this morning. That's the U.S. dollar on a hourly chart. I mentioned yesterday this was going to be a mover. We saw this big move up yesterday into this CPI number this morning. And then, wow, from 102 up to 103.5, back towards recent highs for the U.S. dollar. It's 104.1 right now, up almost a full percent for the DXY. Flip that chart and you'll get the idea for the euro, the British pound, more than a full percent to the downside today for the pound, 1.2 almost, back to 123 against the U.S. dollar. Canadian dollar, same story. Almost 0.75% to the downside here. 78 cents once again for the Canadian dollar. Australia, New Zealand under pressure as well. Even cryptocurrencies, I mentioned earlier, the Bitcoin fell with stocks on that CPI number this morning. We're below 30,000 once again. We did bounce off 29, but straight higher, guys, for the dollar today. Back over to you.
Ooh, yeah, some of the names that were, well, some of the names, it was just Microsoft and Salesforce. I guess it came out and said that the strong dollar was a bit of an issue for them, which is, if it's affecting those two, you know it's affecting others as well. It's just those are the only two that actually bothered to fess up to it and cut some guidance based on it. Another strong name here, and thank you guys to the chat. This is another reason I love the community, because I was looking for relative strength. Y'all just mentioned Walmart up barely. It's up 0.25% here. But if that's not a V shape, then I have no idea what is or what constitutes a V shape bounce. So look at this 121.40. It's also a 121 where it closed, so it just turned green very, very recently. My daily doesn't want to low, but the 15, you got a double bottom on the higher time frame. You've got a V-shaped bottom here and a potential for a breakout, and not necessarily the most overly expensive name. And yesterday, Home Depot was relatively strong. I just checked, not today, down 2%. But Walmart is in that category. So we get a break in the market from here. Yeah, watch Walmart to be able to be a breakout play off this 121.50. If the market doesn't participate, it's hard for it to go. But hey, we've been bouncing off these lows for a little bit here. And you know, my bob isn't going for me, so maybe something a little bit stronger could work. And no, Steve G, it's not a Southern Canada thing. Sometimes I just say it, and I have no idea why I said y'all.
I say y'all all the time, so
I know you do, but I don't think I haven't said it in.
Y'all just relax.
When I was in Dallas last time, and I'm actually going to be in Dallas I think in August for a fantasy football draft. Going to be visiting a friend down there.
September.
Sorry, yeah, Labor Day weekend. I can't wait to get down there again. Awesome, maybe I'll get to the rodeo. But I used it when I was down there because hey, you just sort of do what you do. When I was in Florida, summers in university, my family moved to Florida. My dad worked down there. My brother went to school. So when I was in uni, I would actually spend summers down in Miami. Yeah, you start falling into that, but that was a long time ago when I was in university. So that's not really much of an excuse.
All right, new position alert here for, first of all, you know, we're 25 cents in the money. We've just been lasting or sort of like resting on this NIO trade right now as that's come back down a little bit here. I still don't mind testing it if we get back to $18. The one trade that I'm in now, and I think that I want to be in this until we break this bottom, Apple's tested 137.50 a couple times now to that downside, and on the daily chart, this has been a very, very key level. We talked about where, you know, people buying down here at 137. Obviously, we get some of those wicks down to 133, 134, but right here, Apple, I mean, this 137 area, a pretty decent one. So we'll go into the short now, see if we can hold out, or sorry, into the long, sorry, see if we can hold out against that bottom of the day, which is 137. So we'll average into this trade, see if it can work for us on the down, on the upside. If it comes back in, this is just a starter position here for Apple. So I mean, we're long at 27, so we're out 10 cents right now. But I really think that we can average back in. This is the minute chart here. You know, as we start to fall into this 137, like a retest of 137.50 if the market gets down there, then we'll start to really load that up and then dump it if we break through 137. So, you know, that's a trade that I don't mind right here. Apple, I think if the market wants to bounce, which it doesn't look like it wants to. It just tried the 50 period again. You see how we're consolidating? Like it's just one little break up, and then maybe we've seen the bottoms for today. I think we still try to run back to 12,000. So we'll see if that can hold out. Down 3% could get nastier, man. You're barcoding right now on the futures. Any little bit of a drop down is a problem here. So we'll try to pick up Apple and see if we respect that bottom. If we don't, it'll be an easy out. We're letting it come in for us here. So that's AAPL. Sitting on the bid around 137.50, Brendan.
Oil trying to bounce here, guys. Here's a look at both USO and crude oil. You can see a huge move down for crude. USO following suit. President Biden saying he's going to look at other ways to put more oil back into the system. So energy stocks getting hit now as well.
Yeah, really? And just to clarify, I put it in the chat too, but I didn't go to school in Miami. I went to school here in Waterloo, in Ontario, but I spent my summers in my brother went to the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale. He's an animator now, so good school. I'm familiar with the area because I spent a lot of time there. You mentioned energy, and I'm going to mention the biggest, easily the biggest missed opportunity for me because I blabbed about Occidental yesterday in that channel that it was in, and then I did get the long when it tried to bounce off of this channel, and I never took this short. We talk about these floors getting broken, like Micron today breaking a huge level at 66, but the channel Oxy was in was pretty darn good as well, and it just took that one out yesterday and was dump city, and today, again, dump city into the next level down. This is one of the things you want to look for in a bear market. Like when a shelf breaks, you want to be all over it, man. Like Micron, that's what Micron did today for you if you were looking at it. Once it got below that 66, and this is on the 15-minute chart. It's an even better looking short if you pull up like the daily chart on Micron. It's an even better short because you're going all the way back to like 2021, and then it was a quadruple bottom for this year. It was also a low last year, and you can go even further back if it loads up for Micron. Those are levels you want to see because when they go, forget about it. When they bounce, great. Scalp, we'll do all that stuff you do in front of it, like swing trading in front of it's worked as well. But when they go, especially on a day where the trend is with you, that's what you want to have a quick look-see at. And there's going to be a lot of those because, quite frankly, you're going to start retracing to some old levels that were in play. That's what happens when the market comes back in.
All right, we're starting to build one more position here. Microsoft has come in as well. These are all at day's low right now. So Microsoft's at day's low. Everything is probably not going to bounce, but we want to just test one more chance here at a low and see if we can get something that we're able to hold for a bit. But here goes Microsoft. Again, it's not a big position, but we are going to average into it right about now. Why not? To take one more shot here at 13 if we can get it. And then there it is. So we're just going to give this a little bit lower. The day's low now is in play. It's 254.08. So Microsoft retraces all the way back down. Here it goes. It's going to break. This is not. We actually got out. Okay, well maybe it's not, but it just took down the day's low. So next stop lower here, down through 254 on Microsoft as it just cuts like a butter through knife here. Knife through butter, butter through knife. Microsoft looking at that. TQQ, yeah, TQQ as well. So a couple last ditch longs here as we leave. Everything's at the bottom. Yeah, there it is. And the funny thing is, again, like I'm doing this mistake again. Like, look, short, short, short. Like, we called these plays, and now we're trying to find longs. There goes Microsoft down in. That's not TQ, that's TQQ. Microsoft just broke that 254, and we got out there. Small hit. Microsoft's a positive name for us. We tried it one more time. Didn't go. Look at these lows, man. There's still break, break, break. Like, I'm fine taking some shots here. Like we just said, we took out of Neo right now at 30 on the 30 breaks. Now we're flat on NIO with nothing to go. So here it is, Apple 138.20. One last stab as this comes back down in. I don't know, man. These lows just keep getting violated over and over and over again. We're going to throw it over to the midday show as we keep breaking lower, man. So I don't know if there's any trades you have on board right now, but yeah, these keep going lower and lower.
Well, not the bob along because that stopped out, but we did at least reload Netflix, which we've been holding all morning long at that same high. So just playing off the same level. Took some out at VWAP again. This time I will. If it gets back to the low of the day, like, really? I will get out at the low of the day. But wow, crazy, crazy market. And it's going to be like this all day. Not just all day long, but I feel like the rest of the year. Volatility's in because that's the environment we're going to see. So glad to bring you Trader Prad. And yes, he is back. Luca is back in the building.
Yes,
although I see something missing in that wardrobe. Let's go to the midday show there. Trader Prad and Luca, go get them.
What do you mean something's missing? It's supposed to be casual Friday, my friend. It's supposed to be casual Friday.
So the vest isn't casual?
Sir?
The vest isn't casual?
Oh, vest? Oh, the vest. Yeah, I figured I'd give the vest a rest.
Nice one, nice one, nice one.
Give the vest a rest. And you know what? I honestly thought Prad wasn't going to be in today. So I wore the jacket. I wore the jacket, and then I seen him, and I was like, "Oh God, he's gonna hate me for this." But it's what it is. It's nice to be comfortable.
Thankfully, feeling a lot better. Hopefully, it still stays this way, doesn't go worse. But yeah, I'm glad to be back in the hot seat. Glad to be trading again. Lots of FOMO yesterday, watching these guys kill it. Good job on yesterday's show, guys, and even Tony was here, I believe. So awesome job over there. But yeah, you know what? What's more fun? It's Free Fall Friday, baby. Let's get the sirens going. Markets are dumping to the downside. CPI numbers came out bad. Lots to talk about, lots to trade. I hope you guys are having fun on this Friday. Let's see where the market's going to right now. I can start off with a couple of my trades that I begin with today. I started off with Apple. Apple short in front of 139 break to the downside. I'm still sitting in that trade. I have a Roblox short around 29, still sitting in that trade too. A couple of other trades that I had a Docu short, which I didn't really trade it properly. Clearly missed out on the move. I had the right entry, but I got stopped out on my last few shares over there. So Docu was a quick little short. Micron, you guys heard me call out on the morning show the size that actually Brankles called out. Didn't trade this one properly either because it broke the level. I got out of it for a tiny loss. But last but not least is this Netflix trade that I'm trying to work with. Almost the same idea that Neil has over there, getting short in front of 125 and building that scalp trade over there overall. Been scalping the trades successfully. Not a single scalp has been for a loser. Maybe one of the scalps has been for a flat trade. But yeah, here are my orders, getting ready to pile in more short. But in case Netflix does pop up over here and just scalp on the way down, building that position for a final drop in case Netflix does drop. And Netflix has a negative catalyst behind it too, which is a downgrade from Goldman Sachs. Along with Netflix, a couple stocks that were downgraded today are actually Roblox, hence that's why I'm short Roblox and eBay. Didn't look at eBay all day today. Let's go quickly take a look at eBay, and then we can go over to see what the homie Luca Ferrari jacket smashed today. Maybe some Palantir trades because he's wearing the Ferrari jacket. We don't know yet. We'll find out. But here's your eBay chart. Kind of looking like a boring trade. I guess that's why I didn't even bother pulling the stock up today. Netflix and eBay were my Netflix and Roblox were my number 1 and 2 catalysts from that downgrade from Goldman Sachs and so on. But here's Netflix actually coming back up right now, slightly out of the money, but we're not worried about this trade until 185 gives out. If 185 gives out on this trade, then we walk away with the loser, and we're still going to be up on the day, thankfully, because so far all these scalps have been paying us multiple dividends.
Sounds like you're having a great day, Prad.
Luca?
Sounds like you're having a great day.
So far, day's not over yet, so anything can turn around on us. Market's creating a lower low, sadly, so maybe the bottom is coming in near 3,900.
Yeah, I was actually looking for like a push to 3,900 and a tick, like break the low by like 1 tick, and then just kind of reverse there. But yeah, some things I had my eye on was Amazon 110, which was interesting. There was actually like 1,000 lots there, and then it broke. But as you can see here, trade this quite a bit, and I had the short here, and I took some fills, but then unfortunately kind of came back up and broke 110 just like straight to the upside. So I did flip to long, and then was just scalping here as best I could, but it was kind of choppy, and now we're back below 110. I mean, we had the pull. Is Amazon going below 100 ever? And every single day it's just making its way closer there, right? So yeah, no, at this point I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, for sure 100 will be like the level. Like that was 2,000 pre-split. So yeah, I'd expect that there to be like a lot of opportunity around that area.
Like you did the math, it's exactly.
Yeah, 20
okay.
for 1, yeah. So 2,000,
okay.
yeah. So 100 even, and I want to say that it bounced off that level. Like it got close there when it initially tanked.
100?
Yeah, like 2,000.
Okay, 2,000. Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking like 100. Did I miss the 100 move?
Yeah, no.
Okay,
But
2,000. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it should be very exciting. And guys, Disney as well approaching the 100 level. Wonder if we see some size there as well. Something to keep your eye on here.
Are you not freezing here, Luca?
Just a little bit, but I got the jacket on, so I'm feeling good. Can't complain.
And then we have Sharif over here in a muscle shirt. But yeah, thank you for Luca for checking out some of the stocks that he was trading. So actually, Luca, I want to get your opinion about the CPI number. How did you disseminate that info, and how did you look for opportunities around that info? Because I know you were here by 8:30 getting ready to trade that number. You also faced some liquidity issues or like just teleportation issues.
The move was sharp. The move was extremely sharp. And I think everybody, look, yesterday we had that like fall off into the close and, like selling into the number. Like everybody expected the same thing. I think the White House released a statement saying like, we know the number's going to be bad, like it is going to be bad. And so the number came out, I think it was 8.6, and they expected like 8.3 or something. And so, everybody expected it. It broke that 4,000 and just instantly right to 39.80 and then kind of went down 39.60. And like obviously right now we're at like the 3,900 level. So like market down 2.75%. Like is today, like free fall Friday, like today is the market going to close down 5%? Like, at this point, nothing surprises me anymore.
Yeah, getting ready for, maybe market to push down more over here. NASDAQ is trying to break the low a day, but S&P 500, as I mentioned, is holding up at the new low that it created. Happens to be a little bit higher than the previous low. Here's your NASDAQ chart. Here's your S&P 500 futures. Let's see where this 5-minute candle closes on. The last 5-minute candle did close green, a little bit higher than the last low, as I already mentioned, and this one's trying to open up green and maybe close green also. Still the market's down almost 3% over here for S&P 500. NASDAQ's down 3.5. IWM Russell today is down what? This is your small cap stocks, down 2.7. And Dow Jones, DIA, down about, I'm guessing probably another 2% over here. Yeah, 2.3%. So clearly market is bleeding no matter, what market you're looking at. But we're looking for more opportunities to get involved in. Right now I'm looking at Apple on my second screen, getting ready to take out the low a day. Apple 137.38. We're only 10 cents away from that. Let's see if the low of the day can break over here on Apple and give me more profits on my shares over there. As you guys can see on the left corner, I'm short Apple 139.06. I'm short Roblox 28.95, and I'm short Netflix 184.28. All of them seems to be in the money at the current moment. Let's look for some trades around that are coming in from the chat at the moment. I see Redbox took $11. Okay, Redbox 11, that means it's to the upside. So let's go check out. And yeah, 17% to the upside as Redbox today, taking off right now, breaking 11 to the north side with 11 million shares traded. Man, that's crazy. The stock has just been going wild for the past few weeks now. Even last month, I remember it going crazy. You know, I remember taking that $8 break to 10, but then it ended up going to 11. So now that we're back to 11, I'm gonna have to, you know, keep my eyes on this a little bit. Maybe a short opportunity will be coming around this trade. Market's weak today. Everything's weak today. Why is Redbox doing what it's doing? And Redbox doing what it's doing in resistance areas might be something to watch. But keep in mind, you know, I'm not saying go short right away. This stock has a lot of buying coming in still, and clearly a stock up 18%. Why would you be trying to short that?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of crazy. I mean, these small caps really have some gas behind them. And I was like talking to a few other traders, and I was saying to myself, like, look, you know, anything with a float sub 5 million kind of worries me. You know, like, I'm not really looking to short this. I'm really waiting. Like, if I do like take a trade on it, I'm really like going to be patient with it, because, you know, these things are like making lows, looking like the short is going to be good, and then out of nowhere they rip to new highs. And so, like, for myself, I'm you know, telling myself to kind of stay away from these like sub 5 mil floats. But yeah, like, you know, when you have like small caps kind of very, very slow for like 4 months, 3 months, I want to believe that there's a lot of like hungry money on the sidelines that just wants to like jump in and kind of get involved, right? So like when they start going, they get going, right? So on 100 bounce area, I think it topped out around like 103.30. I actually tried the long here in front of view up. I got chopped up, and I said to myself, you know what, I don't love it, let me back away, and then it kind of went without me. But at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a 100 bounce. Oil's been very strong, sort of kind of down today, but I still want to say that, like, you know, this 100 area could be interesting. I wonder if we get any size there. And the Disney 100 as well, looking like it might slowly come into play. I think Disney did not break, and obviously Disney being a name that's like, you know, going to move much slower, right? So like manage your expectations accordingly. And also NVIDIA, I think I just missed that, but broke 170. But at this point, like, when these names come down so much like this, and then like it breaks like whatever, maybe you missed a few levels, now it's at the 170 level, it breaks. Like, I'm assuming these are not going to be clean breaks. So I'm sort of going to be patient, and I think Amazon feels really weak now, and 109.50 is the bottom. 109.50. I wonder if we get any size there. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this moves towards like 109, right? It's like it broke that 110, it kind of bounced, you had all the bidders, and now like market pushing more towards the low, Amazon back below 110. Like, I would not be surprised if this makes a move towards 109 area. Maybe take a short below that 109.50 area, see what happens, and be patient for a 50-cent move.
Let's see what happens. Let's see where this goes. Let's infamous Luca-isms. Sorry, I'm getting cash, not staying in, long in, out. Yeah, baby, you know, nothing wrong with that. Scalp, scalp, scalp away. This market clearly is breeding right now, so you want to be careful over there with your positions. Nothing wrong with scalping. As long as you're able to put the money in your accounts and the food on the table, let's go. That's the name of the goal. That's what we're looking for. NASDAQ breaking the low a day right now. Market's breaking the low a day for NASDAQ. And, you know, S&P 500 might just head down there very soon. I'm watching Redbox right now curl back from the high a day, which is $11.60. I was also looking at when the last time Redbox hit around $11. So this is my daily chart. Last time Redbox hit $11 was around May 2nd, and the high was exactly $11. But after that, we hit $11.23, and today $11.60. So overall, man, this stock has just been trying to keep on inching its way towards the north direction and doing so successfully. I am PP getting beat down. I am PP. I am not PP, but the stock might be PP. It is indeed getting beat down, though. Market's getting pushed down, so energy sector might be a part of the sector over there. Part of the getting beat down sectors over there overall. I would actually like to see at what time is sector watch. At 12:30 is sector watch. So around 12:30 or so, I would love to see what sector is showing as at least some green moves or not. So stay tuned for that. Don't go anywhere. Lots of fun moves in the market for us to be having us over here. Check out Ortex data on Redbox. I don't pay for Ortex, my friend. Sadly, I cannot be pulling up the numbers for you. But if you are trying to grab information such as the short float number or anything else around those terms, I could maybe get you the short flow. Actually, Luca taught us all a new website that we use now, which is called flowchecker.com. So Luca, thank you for teaching us flowchecker.com. Go over there, type in RDBX, and right here, as you guys can see, It ranges from 32% to 46% depending on what website you're looking at, and that's the only number I guess most people look at when they're looking at Ortex data, other than cost to borrow and everything else.
Yeah, guys, you know, nothing better than a free website that shows you, and again, it's pulling from all these different places, right? So you want to like take the average and kind of look at the information with a grain of salt, but it gives you an idea, right? It might tell you like, you know, the float here is like 3 million, 4 million, 5 million. So you say to yourself like, okay, this is a low float. This is a low float, and you know, I'm gonna approach with caution. Sometimes it'll show like, you know, if you see something like sub 2 mil, like nano floats, like I'm just like, okay, I'm staying away from this, right? But it's really nice. It's really nice when, you know, you have if you're like a mean reversion trader in the small cap world and you see something up and it's like the float is like 200 million, you're like, okay, plenty of shares to go around, right? So like nothing better than a free website, nothing better than a free channel for you guys, just giving you guys information, you know, pure entertainment and education, right? And you know, still watching this Amazon, hopefully we can get below that 109.50 area, but you know, I mean, this is kind of interesting. I mean, it's weird how like, you know, it looks kind of slow, and then as we sell off, like bids step up, and then it kind of slowly moves into it. So like I'm not really expecting like a huge flush here. And at this point, like it seems like 3,900 wants to hold, or for now at least wants to hold. But yeah, I wonder if we will make a new low there. And HYMC, I see people saying HYMC. Let's take a look here.
Is that Highcroft Mining Corp?
I think so. Yeah.
Man, I haven't looked at that stock in ever.
Yeah, I haven't looked at this stock in so long. I wonder where it is right now. Oh, it's on NASDAQ. Let's see here. Yeah, guys, Tesla too. My eyes on Tesla as well. Like Tesla, you know, Tesla sort of, I want to say Tesla faked me out today. Because, you know, coming into today, I'm like, look, the market's down, extra week, obviously CPI number. I'm like, you have the 700 level. If this breaks 695, then I think we could see a move towards 690 and a potential move to the 680 level. And this is kind of like, we had that flush, right? And then we sort of broke the low, and I told myself, look, I'm not going to take the low of day break, because that's where some games might be getting played, but I'll take 695. And I literally take the 695 break, and this thing instantly, look at this bottom punch. I take it and I just get out. Like that was a small loser. It was small size. I said to myself, I don't even believe this. And you know, to take size on this, like I would think like it really has to sell off. Like I'm looking at Tesla, I'm looking at Bitcoin. I'm asking myself like, you know, the move is already extended from 720 down to 690. Maybe there could be the bounce. So I have to be wary of that. And so I got out very quickly. But like literally, I took the fill, and this instantly 2 points against me. So there's like no chance to react there. So it's like, this is what I mean by like, you know, when you approach this type of market, you look at it, you say to yourself like, you know, these moves are going to be very, very sharp. I have to be very quick, because like 1 second later, boom, it's at 700. So like I lose another 3 points. So I think speed there saved me a little bit. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this breaks 690. I'm just not sure, you know, at this point, it's like, are the low of days really working? Like here's a low of day, it reversed. Here's a low of day, it reversed. Here we're making a new low of day right now. Like, is this going to reverse off that 690 level, right? So I don't exactly want to take a long in front of 690 here, and I'm not really sure if I want to short this, but I think, you know, there's a potential that we do push towards 680.
You good?
No, I'm just sorry, what?
No,
Oh yeah, no, I'm watching everything at once here. And yeah, like Amazon now looking like it wants to break back above that 110 area. Bids are sort of stepping up here. This is also a tough trade for me, because I say to myself, okay, I'm expecting like, you know, 25, 50 cent moves, but they're muted. It's like there's like volume comes in, you see the move, and then it just slowly like stops and then reverses. So it makes it very, very challenging. So I think I'm going to be extra patient today. I think, you know, if XOM seems like a channel, maybe we get that 100. Yeah, okay, eyes on that as well. And yeah, AMD, guys. I hope somebody had the 100 short at AMD. Like, this was just too clean. Like, I think the high, I want to say the high was like 99.90 area. And we literally tested it 2 times. It's unfortunate because I was watching way too much today. But this was, I think, one of the easier trades. Like, you could have risked off the 100 level, or even like high of day 121 or something like that. And like, you could have got like 89s, 85s. And like the first time, boom, cover like 1-2 point win. Second time, and just like hold for the low of day. Like now we're pushing. Like where's the bottom on this? We're already down 4.25%. Like, are we gonna finish down more than 5%? Like, this is crazy. I think. I mean, I'm not really too sure about levels here, but like, you know, all of these levels have been tested before, right? So it's like the best case scenario is like you get to a fresh level and it's sort of, you have a lot of size and then it breaks and there's a lot of volume, a lot of people making decisions. And second time around, third time around, it comes through and you say to yourself like, you know, like there's not really that much size, like there's less people making decisions, maybe like a little bit less volume. So you got to be very, very careful where you're putting your orders.
I want to go check out a stock that's being mentioned in the chat, COGT, up 85%. So this stock has been absolutely on a tear today. Let me quickly glance over at my watch list to see if this was on there, or what the reasoning is too. I don't really see what the catalyst is for COGT, but yeah, it's been on an absolute tear right now and been holding VWAP the whole time since open. So here's the daily chart for this stock, taking out a good resistance around $9 and trying to stay above 9 right now as we talk about it. But I would like to see later on in the day, does the stock actually hold up at VWAP like it did the whole time, or does it eventually break VWAP and crack to the downside? But overall, pretty crazy move on this position. And as I mentioned, that $9 barrier did give us some resistance on the daily move over here, but eventually popping up above it. And right now, Netflix is getting up to 185. So let's see what Netflix wants to do. Netflix out of the money, 35 cents for the first time. Never really, I was out of the money that much on Netflix this whole day, but now it's getting ready to maybe burn me a little bit on my position. Here goes Netflix to the north side. The market waking up also at the same time. S&P 500 creating a nice little low and getting propped up to the north. Let's see if the NASDAQ is doing something similar. Yeah, NASDAQ is doing something similar too. So maybe the market might just be able to form a bottom here and get ready to go north. So let's see what happens in the next few 10, 15 minutes if we do able to, you know, break past this range high in the S&P 500 or not. But yeah, Netflix right now really getting ready to burn me on my position, going from almost being my best trade in the day to no longer my best trade in the day. But thankfully we're still up. Let's see. Oh my, okay, 185 getting taken out. Do we actually stay above 185 here? 185 on the bids right now, and they're trying to hold it up there. My last stop on this position has to be around 125.30s or so, and we're pretty close to it right now.
Yeah, guys, this market does feel like, you know, if you're I'm definitely not this type of trader, but it's like, it's literally making a low and then reversing. Then it's making a high and it's reversing. And so like, take something like Apple as an example. It's like, and this is just like, I could pull up any stock. I'm sure like a lot of them have similar patterns. This is the vibe that I'm getting. It's like, you know, you have the morning move, right? The move happened. Then we sort of grind lower, but look at this. Bottoms out, pops. Makes a low, pops. Makes a low, pops. Breaks this kind of high here at like 140.40 area. Makes, not a high, but like makes a high above this range, and then boom, reverses. Makes a low, boom, reverses. And so it's like, and then okay, boom, this one makes a low, and then this one continued. So it's like, you're almost better off playing like the reversal off of these like new lows. It's like, okay, if volume's gonna come in and you're gonna get that reversal, and then maybe like that's the play, right? It's like, so like here you have like, you know, it's very slowly, it bounces very slowly, makes a low, bounces, pops, and goes back up. And now it's like we're holding this low and like we're going higher. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we like push towards like 138.60, like try to make a high above this range and then reverse again. It's like just exhaust all this potential stops. I don't know what's happening, like, and then just kind of like hunt for liquidity. And like when I say that, I'm loosely saying hunt for liquidity. It's like, you know, like people who want to load up short right now. Let's say there's robots that want to load up short, and they just say like, well, I can't get short here because nobody's filling me. So let's just bring it all the way up here on no volume, tick the high, everybody's buy stop goes off because they have it in the same area, or just touch VWAP, and then boom, you're getting all this buy action, you sell into that, and then like boom, we push towards another low of day. So it's like, you know, normally you see this pattern on small caps where it's like they break levels and they dump because there's no vol, like they're looking for that liquidity. And when you start to see that on large caps, like that sort of similar pattern, like it sort of worries me. It's a very, very challenging environment for me to trade, because I'm not really the type of trader that says to myself, okay, like let this break up and then I'm going to take the short. Normally I'm saying to myself, oh, okay, this is going up, maybe there's some strength. So I've got to readjust my whole strategy and approach. And yeah, it's something that I'm working on. Hopefully you guys are doing a lot better than I am. And Daryl, thank you for the super chat. Amazon, $90. He's calling, is this I saw somebody say 90 put. So like you have puts at 90, like that's extreme. But you know what? I gotta say, like that's way out of the money. I'm not sure how much you paid for that. But like it's interesting because if this does break 100, like the implied volatility on those will go way up. So like you're taking a lot of risk right now, but as it gets obviously closer to your price, like you're gonna get paid. You're gonna get compensated for that risk. So I mean, at this point, like, look, I wouldn't be surprised if like, Amazon at the 110 area. I told myself 110, 115, like as an investor, this is where I maybe buy like in my long-term portfolio. But as a trader, like I mean, just watching the tape, like it feels like this is going towards 100. So yes, if we do get towards 100, we could easily see a break. But I wouldn't be surprised if we break and kind of test 98s, 97s, and then like bounce from there. So that's something I'm keeping my eye on. But yeah, exactly, Bobby. No risk, no Rari. No risk, no Rari. Or no Rari jacket, I guess.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Do you think Redbox is going to make the memes go crazy? Well, if the market keeps on dying like this, the memes might not catch some traction just yet. Last time the market died off, we see the volume overall, the market dying off slowly. People's accounts are bleeding. People not really looking to jump into the market just back in yet. And what else is it? The summertime coming up soon, which is a big volume draining event also in the market. All things being considered, the only one thing will tell Father Time, Mother Time, whatever it is only time will tell what the future has in store for us. One thing that I did read though in my morning report on my way to work is CME, which is I think Chicago
Exchange?
Chicago Mercantile Exchange?
Mercantile, yeah.
Mercantile? Mm-hmm. Okay, Chicago Mercantile Exchange actually getting an upgrade over there, and they're talking about how this low prices in the market is going to be giving some juicy prices for people to start investing in. So they believe that the CME group is going to start bringing in. They also said that the prices in the futures decline, which is what the CME is better than the overall equities decline. People are scared to invest in equities than they should be in futures or something along those words. I might be paraphrasing a little bit here or there, but overall the idea is, the market might be looking to get some volume to the north side soon. We also have the big quad witching coming up, which is the third Friday of this month. That's going to be a big event that everyone's going to be watching to see what stocks get bought up, what stocks get sold out of the S&P 500 index. Darley Faust coming in with the super chat. I got 114 put Tuesday. Look at me now. Look at me now. He's getting paper. Look at him now. Yeah, let's go, baby. You're cashing out right now. Netflix once again back in the money after being about 30, 40 cents out of the money for me. I loaded up heavy up there, and we're looking to see how low can we take Netflix over here. Apple and Roblox not really doing anything exciting for me. They've just been hanging out there the whole time. So let's go check out what Neil has for us over here.
Look, man, if you say look at me now, you better also drop that bar for real. I mean,
The bus that dropped?
Yo, bus. Hell breezy. I couldn't even do it. But anyways, Redbox going absolutely parabolic. Now, the big difference from today and yesterday for me is wait around for it to get to a pretty big area at 1250, fail that and get in and have a tight stop and not have like 50 or 60 executions. But you go to the daily, it either fails here or it fails at 14 even. So I think it's got room to go. I saw a few people say this 15 to 18 area. That makes sense to me too if it gets through that 14. The other thing you got to be watching is market heading right back down to these bottoms. What do you think Disney is? $100. I didn't try this the first time, scalped it to 140 cents, but now you've got a triple bottom at 100 on Disney. Tesla just took out 690. I got wicked out of Netflix because obviously worked me out of my last short because that's what this market's going to do to you. But watching these key levels start to come in, if you're trading off of this and you're looking for these longs, you got to pay yourself because you're getting shallow bounces. The risk to reward is juicy. Yeah, you'll say to yourself, I can grab 10s, 15s, and it might bounce in here to VWAP. I mean, forget about it. Like this bounced to VWAP the first time. Do you think it's going to bounce again? This is the third time it's coming to this level. Like everybody's looking at this. There's probably like half of, a bunch of traders on the floor. I'm not going to say half the floor. I have no idea. But there's at least a few traders on the floor here that are just sitting there long 05, 02, 11, 15, whatever it might be, all looking for the same bounce. And if we're doing it, then a lot of other people are doing it too. And that means as it goes up, there will be lots and lots of sellers. As it breaks the level, there will be tons of stop orders that are very likely to get hunted. So you want to be very, very careful when you are trading a move like this. And I just want to quickly come over to a couple of other names that I'm watching. Tesla has now broken what was its last level of significant support, about 690 here. This was the pretty big bottom just going on for this week. Like you're actually entering into a bit of a gap territory for Tesla. You hold below here and the futures make another low. And yeah, you've got room to about, it's an ugly number to say, but you're talking 650. I know on the way down there you get that fun 666 number, but when you pull up the chart, it gets really ugly on a lot of these names in terms of gap fills to the downside. Yeah, I know I'm watching Redbox. I got the level 2 up. I got my charts here that I show you guys, but I got, you know, level 2s, other charts. Redbox never left. It didn't get to 14, so I don't care about this curl. Although, you know what will happen? I said yesterday about the debacle in PBTS that sometimes to make the trade, you've got to be willing to miss the trade. And in this particular case, I'm willing to miss the trade if the turn comes here, $1 away from where I think there would be some more sellers. So if that's just it, it either failed at this level or it's gonna try to fail at that 14 even. That's what I was trying to do for RDBX. And to give you an idea, I said the same thing on PBTS today, which had a vastly different result for me. Vastly different. I said at 150, either it fails the 150 break or it goes to $2 and I don't touch it. Well, it failed the 150 break, and that is very different. My trades aren't showing up here, but I was short the entire way up. It just got blown out. Disney just took out 100, so that was the fastest 13 cents you will ever see lost by me. Yeah, I know, John just chuckled here because it's true. Like, you go long in these with a bounce. The first time it's like, in 3 minutes, I'm getting a 30, 40 cent winner. This time, it's like the next bar I'm getting stopped out. That is what this market is doing to you guys. So you've got to be very careful with these longs. You've got these huge levels below everywhere. I do think, obviously, I know Brendan's going to be at the big screen here to give you one of my favorite segments that I think we should be incorporating to the morning there, Brendo. Let's see what the social media monitor is saying.
Not surprising on a day like today, a lot of red on this board. Yeah, if you missed it, guys, you were away the last couple of days. A little different information. So this is social media sentiment. So all the stocks being talked about on social media right now and the sentiment behind those, whether it's positive or whether it's negative. And then the size of the box you see on this screen indicates the amount, the frequency, or how much they're being talked about. So the overall market, obviously the big story today, coming off that CPI number. SPY, jumping off the page here, super red. RDBX, we just saw the chart there with Neil, straight to the upside, nicely positive for RDBX. Tesla here, right beside it, also negative. Mullins on here. There's Amazon we've been dealing with all week long in negative territory. The Qs, worth noting, not as big today as the SPY. IMPP, AMC in the corner there, also in negative territory according to social sentiment today. I wanted to mention Apple, BABA here as well, also red, AMD and GME. The further out you go, the less frequency you're going to see of mentions on social media. But the two big ones, RDBX, just coming off significantly here, and the SPY, guys, back to the downside. Let's go back to Trader Prad and Luca.
Just quickly back to me, because I did just say you've got to be willing to miss the trade to make the trade, and it does make more sense than it sounds like, but that's just the case here. Like Redbox does put another curl, and this is the most parabolic of those channels. So certainly, like I could be in this, and you know, if I took that trade, you get a nice little dollar winner. But that's exactly what got me into trouble on PBTS, and I think it was Kai or maybe it was somebody else pointing out in the chat just now. For a lot of these names that do trade with a warrant, it is worth noting, in the event, somehow this didn't halt on the way up, but when they halt, the warrants will actually still trade. So if you get caught in one of these low float runners, any kind of a low float runner, like an RDBX, it happened with U1K, and you need something to monitor. You're like, oh, maybe I want to hedge because I'm caught in a position, or maybe it's just too expensive and you want to buy the warrant. It is available to you. I like to go to look at these if I'm trading a halt trade, and then the equity is halted and I can have a look at the warrants. That was incredibly valuable when you had some of the DWAC and some of those plays moving. Funware was one of those cases. So I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. And thank you guys for pointing it on the chat. But remember, like usually, RDBX, like it's just usually, not always, but 99% of the time, 90, whatever it is, when you go this parabolic, people will take profits. Like remember, people are taking this on dips to 10 and breakouts at 10.50. the market is getting destroyed. If you don't think people are happy with 20 to 25% on a name like this for a quick little day trade, or going to the higher time frame, banking an exact double up from the last dip, like this is the 5 dip breaking out today. Like, yeah, there's people that will take profit on the way in. There are big traders that are going to be shorting it at some of those key levels. So you really do want to make sure that you're paying yourself when you get these long, and you know what your options are. As the market breaks lower, I should have just reverse short in Disney. The 100 short better than the long was, Trader Brad.
Back to us? Yeah, we could take it back over here. Thank you, Neil, for covering us over there. Juke, Luca, and I had to go do something for the other boys. But yeah, we're back now. Let's have some fun. You were talking about Disney. I heard that while I was doing something. But yeah, Disney, I actually got triggered into that order. Wasn't even at my desk. So as soon as I came back in, just punch out, punch out, punch out, instantly. Panic out, panic out, panic out. I guess I didn't have a reason to panic out. Was a good trade though. You know, I had my order out to get short. Made a quick 20 some odd cents on my side. So quick scalp on that trade. Netflix, man, went from being one of my scariest trades today to one of my most profitable trades here. Roblox is still my #1 trade of the day, but Netflix right now coming down could eventually, you know, take over Roblox over here, and Apple maybe getting ready to crush the downside. S&P 500 finally taking out the low and giving us a new low a day. NASDAQ already taking out the low and continue to the downside. The market's clearly going down, baby. Luca looks like he should be at Monaco. Luca getting ready to drive the Ferrari car himself next year. Let's go, baby. What are you looking at, Luca?
Well, I appreciate that comment. I'm actually a trader because I want to be in Monaco. So I'm going to trade my way to Monaco, and I'm keeping the jacket. I'm going to bring it there, and all good things happen. And Bick, thank you for the super chat. Tesla long call and puts. What should I con? What should I do? What level should I con? Tesla long calls and puts. Well, I mean, you know, I think Tesla, my levels for Tesla, like I'm at that 680 level, like 690, 680. Like it feels like every time, like we broke the 680 and we just flushed all the way down, right? And so like I tell myself like look, you know, if we break 680 again, maybe we get another push down. Like we have the CPI numbers, we have Bitcoin coming, Bitcoin, you know, tanking on the news. It's obviously not an inflation hedge. And you know, I want to say that like Tesla drops, like Bitcoin drops, it all kind of moves together. And so, you know, it's for Tesla, I want to say 680. You know, we get below 680, then we could really sell off with some steam. And then that 650 levels is somewhat interesting. So yeah, those are my levels. I mean, to the upside, I don't know. If we get above 750 and really push towards like 800, then it like maybe gets interesting. But yeah, you know, those are my levels. But again, like if you know, if it's moving extra slow, like I'm not really, if it's at like not at a new level, then I'm not really like interested in, you know, taking too much size and being too aggressive, because you know, it obviously it's showing us that it could reverse on us at any point. So like one of the names that I think for me personally, I'm staying away from.
Yeah, I'm just complaining in the chat over here to our coworkers about a trade. But yeah, you know what? Market's still being beautiful to us, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have some fun. What stocks are you looking at? Enough about this Apple, Netflix, Roblox every day, back-to-back, same stocks. I know you guys look at other stocks. Is Luca Slovenian? No, he drinks affogatos and he eats super sata. Okay, what is he?
Yeah.
Let's see what the chat thinks. Check out DRV. What's that, bro?
No, I'm saying take a guess.
Take a guess.
To anybody that doesn't
Yeah,
know.
we gotta have some fun, you know? We can't just throw it out there. He's a fake Italian. Wow, those are fighting words, my friend. Those are fighting words. DRV being called out in the chat. Only 300,000 shares traded on DRV. It's on Amex. What is DRV? You know, it's been holding VWAP with low volume all day. So what is the stock right now? DRV or ETF. It is the real estate bears. So looks like real estate's coming down. Hey, mom, time to buy a house? But yeah, look at the stock, man. Just, you know, obviously if the real estate's coming down, then DRV is going up because the inverse 3 times leverage ETF. But I know I said no more Netflix, but you know, I have to go back to it. When the money's being poured into my account, I need to go back to it, take some profits. I'm about to have one of my biggest days on Momo trading, momentum trading, thanks to this one stock here alone. Look at those entries, look at those exits, in, out, in, out, in, out, multiple times throughout the day, not caring what the stock's doing to it, not caring about those tiny pops that it has. because we believe that it's going to go down after the downgrade that it has, and only a couple more dollars on the P&L for Netflix to take over Roblox here. So let's see if Netflix can get pushed even more lower. Now let's go back to a couple other stocks that you guys are looking at. Come on, AMD. I know we talk about AMD enough, so I want to go look at some low floats for us, some fun low floats. You know, Redbox is at 12 now? What? Wrong box. Redbox is at 12 now. That is insane. So look at this stock. I thought, you know, maybe 11 would show us some resistance. Nope, 1347 being the high of day, and looks like around 13 might be the top coming in for Redbox for the day today. Let's see if we can break past above 13 one more time after testing VWAP for some support. And Disney right now getting back above $100. Let's see if Disney can actually get back above and actually stay above 100. But looks like with the overall market environment, we're probably not going to see that happen for the next 10, 15 minutes.
I almost want to see if we can get a push towards 150 on Disney. Like, you know, it's the classic, like, breaks the 100, right? Takes out the size here. I'm assuming there was size. I must have missed it. Takes out the 100, kind of drops 99.71 low, and now it's like retesting that 100. It's going to make a decision. Like, see, this is where I say, like, tape reading comes into play. Like, you're watching the 100 level and you're saying to yourself, okay, are people still slamming it down? Are people taking it short? Or are people buying it back up? Or is nothing happening? And is it like a sort of like a no trade, right? I mean, at this point, like, I wouldn't be surprised if this slowly makes its way back up, like 20 cents, 30 cents. So I'm going to take a long here, nothing crazy, and see where this goes. I mean, if we do, you probably risk off that low a day. If we break the 99.70 area, then at that point, like, maybe 99.50 comes into play, 99, maybe 99, but I just don't see 99 coming as fast as, like, I think it could. So I mean, I want to, like, look at this point, like, it makes a low, breaks the low. Sorry, makes a low. I'm looking at the wrong screen here. Makes a low, breaks the low, pops. Makes a low, breaks the low, pops. Makes a low, breaks the low. Are we gonna get that pop, right? I think we could see easy pop like 30, 40 cents here. So just a quick scalp, and I'm gonna try to scale into this one as well. So we'll keep our eyes there. And guys, Tesla approaching that 680 level, but doing it very, very slowly. Very, very slowly. So for me, this is a no trade, even though I said to myself, if we get towards the 680 level, like, it'll maybe be interesting, maybe we sell off. But guys, look, I mean, like, maybe it looks like it's moving quickly, but, like, you know, this is something that you want to short the pops for sure. And personally, I don't like doing that with Tesla because I'm not really sure how high it's going to pop. And so I tell myself, I'm just going to watch this, you know, but if there's some size there and if, like, volume picks up and it really gets going, then, like, I'll have a look at it. And I think XOM is approaching that 100 as well. And what was the low on this? 120. So slowly approaching. The thing I learned with XOM is there's either a lot of dark pools or a lot of icebergs, because, like, this thing, like, does so much volume, it doesn't really move, and then, like, the move comes in afterwards. Like, nobody's really showing any size on the book, so I'm not really sure what to think in terms of tapering. It's a new kind of environment for me. For anybody that was watching last time, maybe 2 days ago, I had the Exxon long at, like, 105 break, and it was nice. And, like, the fact that now we're back down, but, like, if you zoom out here and you pull up the daily, and you look at, like, where the 100 is, and, like, I mean, look, obviously oil has been strong. Everybody's, I'm assuming, been long oil. You have the push into the 100 level, breaks 100, tops out 105.50 area. Now you get the 2 red days, right? So, I mean, like, it looks like it's holding trend. If we're going to get a bounce, we're going to get a bounce around this area, the 100, maybe 99.80 area. And I'd be surprised if this breaks that without a bounce, without some type of bounce. If it just breaks this and, like, continues to break 99.50, 99, like, I'll be very surprised. I'll be very surprised. I'm expecting some sideways action here. And so, like, what I look for is, like, a sort of little bounce up and then kind of sideways dies off and volume, like, drops, right? So you have the move up on high volume, then breaks levels, more volume, then drops on lower volume. So I'm thinking to myself, maybe we get the 100 bounce. I like that play. And so I say to myself, let me keep an eye on this one. But, you know, a ways away from it right now. Like, I'm not playing 100 bounce at, like, 150. Like, I'm just not, personally. And Vic, thank you for the super chat again. Levels on Apple, holding 138 put at the moment. Okay, let's have a look here at Apple. Apple, we have... So this is, again, the daily here. Obviously, all these names, every name is going to look the same. They're all going to be testing this kind of low area. And let's just see. So 138. I think the level 140, that's really far away. Where's the bottom? Okay, so one thing to note here, see how you have the wicks that are coming down? So it's like, it was the same thing with, like, the 150 level. Remember I was noting before, I said to myself, like, look, it's coming to 150. It's definitely an inflection point. Like, are we gonna move higher or are we gonna go lower, right? And notice how it like popped above 150 and closed below. So it's flirting with that 150 area, but it could just not close above. Then it closed above 150, right? And it's showing me here on June 2nd, closed above the 150 level, and boom, the next day, big red day. So it's like, can't close above, but, you know, flirting with it, and then closes above, but super bearish, so boom, big red day, and then kind of sideways action, and boom, now you have the 2 big red days that came yesterday, today. And so now, you know, you have the 138 puts. I mean, like, I wouldn't be surprised if this tests 137. Like, I think we could get a 137 test. I'm just not sure, like, at this point, it's like, if there's going to be a continuation of this sell-off, it's most likely going to happen in the last hour, right? So, like, my expectations are that, like, maybe we're going to continue sideways. And I've seen this on like, the broader market in general. Like, we have the 1 minute right here. It's like you have the big sell-off, right? Doesn't even come close to VWAP. Just goes trends down all day, breaks the low, and then sets another kind of trend down all day. But now we're at that 3,900 area, right? So it's like, what I'm thinking is, like, you get the bounce, like, it's gonna probably continue to go sideways. Like, I wouldn't expect this to, like, go to VWAP just based on the fact that, like, the number was so bad, like, the economy's not looking good, right? So it's like, we're down like 2.8%. So obviously, like, you wanna look short, you wanna hold on to your shorts if you are short, but guys, keep in mind that, like, this will come up and give you better prices to get short. The last thing you wanna do is short right here, because what's your upside? Like, if you're expecting it to break 39 and then go down 20 handles, like, it's much better to, like, scale into your short, assuming that it's not going to break the high. Because, you know, on the overall market, when you see this pattern where it, like, pops, cannot get above the high, and now it's doing it again, like, is it going to get above, is it going to make a high here? Is it going to break this previous high, right? It's just like setting like lower lows, lower highs. It's obviously super bearish. Like, you have the catalyst that made this happen. And so I say to myself, look, hold on to your shorts, average into your shorts. You got the 138 puts, like, we're below that right now. Obviously, you had an extreme move. I don't know what expiry you have, but something I tell, like, I mean, if you're holding over the weekend, like, anything could happen, right? Anything could happen. But if you're saying to yourself, look, I'm going to cover towards end of day, like, maybe there's going to get a, like, extra push down, like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But keep in mind that if you're short from, like, you know, the 140 area and it moved into 138 and you have the 138 puts, at this point, the implied volatility is so high. It's like you took the risk, we're far away, and as we get there, the delta is increasing on those puts. And so, like, as delta approaches 1, like, you say to yourself, like, look, if you really think this is going to continue to go lower, then just roll it over into, like, puts that are out of the money to, like, increase the bang for your buck. And, like, put some money in your pocket, like, get a free trade out of it. Like, there's no point that I see that you would, like, take the risk. If you're at 140, you're like, okay, let me get the 138 puts. Then you get the move. The delta has now exhausted itself. Like, why hold on to those, right? So these are questions that I ask myself when I trade options. I'm not really sure where you're in at. You're saying that you're holding the 138 puts. I mean, yeah, this is just my opinion. And, yeah, guys, Disney did not manage to average into this, but I think I still have some time. Still above the 100 level. And this thing's going to probably flirt with it for a while. And we have, like, range here, which is about 99.84 to, like, 110 area, like, playing off that 100 level. But again, this is a slow mover. So I'm going to be very patient with this one, and we'll see where this one goes.
Well, you have to end the sentence always the same way, and we'll see how this one goes. Because I love it.
It's funny, like, I'm saying it, but I'm saying it to myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, guys, look, I'm long here. Like, I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm trying to react to what I'm seeing, and we'll see where this one goes.
I love it. We got to put that on a shirt. We'll see where this one goes. I love it. Absolutely love it.
I like that, yeah.
You know, I'm looking at I had something to mention. You know, guys, it's not a risk-on type of day every day. You got to know where you put your risk on and risk off. But today was just that type of the day where you had to put risk on, you know. A little joke that we had in our Discord conversation on the way to work. I saw this cute girl on the way to work, and you know, I was debating, should I risk it? Should I risk getting her number? But I was like, you know what? I need to save my risk for trading today, because today is going to be a big risk-on day for trading. If I waste my mental capital asking for this girl's number and I get rejected, I'm probably going to have a bad day at trading, and that's where I want to be putting my risk on at, right? I want my full risk on at trading, not at just getting a number. We can get the number later on at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock when we're hitting the bars after killing the day like we're killing it today. So So got to know when to put your risk, when not to put the risk. It's all about just really focusing on your trades right now, right? So when it's approaching this time of the day, when it's 12 o'clock and market's about to go into that low volume period, it's best to just take your profits, run away, come back later when the market actually shows you some volume coming in. Get the number, pull up in the Rari, that's right, but I gotta have the Rari first to be able to pull up in the Rari, right? And that's why it's a full risk on type of day today. As you guys can see in the bottom left corner, Netflix is now $1.20 per share. More profits pouring into my pocket. I still have half of my size that I originally had from the high mark over here. So now my average being 144.67, literally being the high a day almost on Netflix. Even though it did get above 185, I didn't take any fills over there, but pretty close to 185. My average price, $1 per share in the money right now. Trying to bounce off of VWAP, which I don't personally am too happy seeing on the market, or not on the market, on Netflix. But S&P 500, after creating a new low a day, is trying to bounce off of that number, and NASDAQ just looks like it wants to trend to the downside all day long. So here's just an update of my trades. Let's go take a look at what the chat's looking at. COGT, still on the move apparently for COGT. Man, $11 approaching on this position very soon. Volume not lowering just yet. So as I mentioned, that low volume period, maybe 12 o'clock or so, you'll see a little bit of a decline in volume for COGT. But $11 approaching, 78 million shares traded so far on I'm guessing it's a low float. COGT, 36 million shares, yeah, so low float and relative volume of 925.74. So tons of volume going off on this trade today for anyone watching. Dominic Famularo calling out the $11 level. Yeah, looks like it wants to go there, so without a doubt, you might just be right on that call out. Barrick Gold went from 1970 this morning to $2.50. That's ABX.
ABX, yeah.
On New York?
On Toronto, actually, ABX.
Is there on New York one?
I'm not sure, actually. I don't think so.
Okay, so let's just go to Toronto one. So ABX on Toronto, we've traded the stock a couple times. I was just doubtful to see if it was going to be on New York because the chat mentioned it, 90% of the chance, that's an American call out, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Trader Ben, welcome to the green side. Thank you for a new member, Trader Ben. Welcome, welcome, welcome. ABX, Barrick Gold. Yeah, looks like gold finally acting like the inflation hedge, maybe?
Yesterday somebody, I can't remember who it was, but somebody gave their opinion on what they think the Fed's able to do and what Powell's going to do, and they mentioned they're and again I don't remember who it was. I can get back to you guys, but they said we don't believe that Powell has the toolkit to get himself out of this one, essentially. And so basically to summarize it, my interpretation of the situation is
oh, Barrick Gold is gold on New York.
Oh, gold on New York. Okay, that's why people are saying gold with the capitals. I was like, yes, Barrick Gold is gold for sure. Yeah, but essentially, my interpretation of the situation is this. Look, it's you have this environment where inflation is peaking, the Fed, rates have been low for so long, now they're tightening. So it's a very challenging environment. There's not a lot of liquidity to go around. My take of the situation is, if the Fed needs to decide, do they want, and they're trying to battle off both hyperinflation and stagflation, right? And so when you're put in a position, you're put against the wall and you say to yourself imagine you being being Powell, you say to yourself what's the lesser of the two evils, right? Stagflation is terrible, hyperinflation is also bad, but at the same time, it's if you had to choose, I want to say that they choose hyperinflation every time, right? And so my kind of expectation going into these rate hikes is they're expecting 50 basis point hikes going into November, and then they're going to taper it back. But I wouldn't be surprised if they've been so aggressive going into this that now they can say to themselves, okay, let's dial it down. Let's dial down our hawkish tone and give liquidity a little bit of a boost and see if we can boost economic output. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's going to happen, but it's not something that I'm super confident on. But yeah, and the whole reason I brought the situation up is because the person who said, the Fed doesn't have it in their toolkit to save the economy because of whatever, they've already exhausted everything, and that person says they love gold, right? And I think gold was weak yesterday, but guys, keep in mind gold, actual gold, physical gold, right? I love the saying I don't know somebody who owns a lot of gold and isn't wealthy, and I tell myself gold is a long-term trade. Yes, if it's in play today, it's obviously had huge moves. Even just bringing up GLD, let's bring up GLD here. It had a huge, it kind of bottomed out and then a huge move to the upside, right? held low of day and just huge move to the upside. Like normally, like, I mean, I don't really watch this name, but like a 4-point move on GLD is pretty large, right? But so I tell myself the gold trade is more of a longer term trade. Like if I'm buying physical gold, I'm obviously holding it. If I'm like trading gold, like as a day trader, like I don't really trade it because I don't expect these huge moves, but maybe it's something to look at going forward because, you know, like what is the real inflation hedge? It's like if Bitcoin is going down as they're releasing worse than expected inflation numbers, like it is not an inflation hedge, right? You look around like where's the inflation hedge? If gold starts to pick up, and it has like that long-term trend, if you look at the daily, I'm not sure if it'll show it as cleanly like on GLD here, but if you pull up the daily on gold, like I almost want to say that like this is ready to make another leg up. And it's going to take a long time. Like gold is like a slow trade, but it's trendy, right? Like it's like as it gets going, like if we break 175 area, and these are just arbitrary numbers using like this ETF here, but like, you know, if we break 175 area, we could really get going towards and test like the 200. Like I wouldn't be surprised, right? I wouldn't be surprised because gold has always been an inflation hedge in the past, and it's, I want to say like it's a global currency. Like you know, like it doesn't matter where you guys are in the world. Like if we could trade gold, right? But if I come to you and I say, hey, I have Canadian dollars, you have some other type of currency, it's like, okay, what's the math? What's a good deal? But, you know, everybody knows gold, like it is what it is, right? So it's something that I look at. I love the gold trade for the long term. I definitely have gold in my long-term portfolio as a hedge. As a day trader, I don't really like, I should start looking at it, but I haven't looked at it in the past.
Red box still being talked about, and yeah, why would it not be up 33% today, getting ready to go test this $13 level one more time. Let's see if we actually break above 13 for the second time here and move to the high day of 1350 or so, and then break out of 1350 maybe. We're actually in IPO ranges or above IPO range. So IPO range was from $10 to 11 looks like, and we're well above it, almost $3 above it. Here comes the break of, so the second break of $13 to the north side, and we're getting ready to test 1350. Look at the spread, man. It's just, the spread's just teleporting to the high day over here, and the market wants to clearly, or the stock clearly wants to take out 1350 over here and keep on riding to the north side, while NASDAQ and S&P 500 are testing the lower days. So red box, ooh-wee, not a red move in this stock at all today, even though it's on SSR day 2, which means the stock is harder to short technically, because you will only get short when the stock is moving up, and you know, smashing the bids is just impossible on this stock because it's on SSR day 2. Here comes the break of high day. Teleport more, why don't you? Go to 14, here comes 15, here comes 16, like it just doesn't want to stop. I'm seeing like red on the tape, but the bids are not dropping at all. So clearly the stock just wants to keep on ripping. I got to filter the tape here because I'm seeing a lot of nonsense, you know, size in the middle on mid prints. So I'm just going to filter the tape for, how much did I filter for? 200 shares? Maybe we got to filter for a little bit more, right? $13 stock, 200 shares, not enough. Let's go for 400, 500 shares, sorry, and see what actually is going on. So a little bit of a stalling movement, but you saw that big tail end of that candle above 1350. Looks like every time we get up to 1350, we see that barrier coming into play, even though high day now is 1397 on Redbox. So that was like a 40% move on the stock today, even though SSR day 2. Let's see what other stocks you guys are looking at. Pump and dump, that's why. Yeah, it could be. You know, the market is moving crazy. That's all fun and games for us, right?
Guys,
you know, as a day trader.
This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about on these small caps. Like, so it obviously holds trend, right? Holding trend is not breaking the 13 EMA, okay? Makes the high, exhausts, you get the volume exhaustion. Breaks trend, goes down, holds 12, okay? Breaks 12, people who are slamming bottoms thinking like, okay, it's gonna go to VWAP and go to 11, like boom, faked out, makes a new high, tries for it, you get a little bit of a volume spike back down. Then look at this, goes for the high of day again, breaks the high of day, and instantly reverses. And look at all that volume, like instantly slammed down on the high of day. So it's like, this is something that like, look, when it's gonna break a level for the first time, like let's say today, like, you know, $12 level, you're saying to yourself, okay, maybe I missed getting long around 11, but still holding trend, I'll get long here, like fresh level, okay, makes a high, you scale out, okay, perfect trade. But like on these small caps, like if anybody is long, right? And I'm looking at the float here, it's saying like 10 million, 8 million for Redbox, so I'm gonna assume it's around 9 million. And you know, like this, like 9 million on a stock that's like $10 is like at 90 million to soak this float, right? Like it's not a lot of money. So it's like any hedge fund can literally soak the majority of the float, punch levels, make this thing fly up, create new highs, and where's their exit, right? You gotta ask yourself, if they soak the whole float and I see Darren saying the float is 2 million. So I'm not sure, but whether it's 2 million, 5 million, 8 million, like because the stock is so cheap, like the float is like sub 100 million, like any hedge fund with like 100 million, 200 million in assets, even like, 500 million in assets, like they could easily soak this. It's not a huge risk on their end. And so like what you tend to see is like, it'll show in the, like it's hard to tell, right? You never really know, but like as a strategy, these hedge funds could be soaking the float, and now there's no more shares to go around. They make it seem attractive to shorts. Shorts get involved, and then when shorts have to cover, there's no shares. And so you get this like lightning fast move. That's where you get tape teleportation. And then the question becomes, where is the hedge fund getting out? Because if they soak 5 million shares, they have to dump 5 million shares. This thing traded 31 million shares today. So this is why people look at like how many times did the float rotate per day, right? So if the float on this, let's keep it simple. The float is 5 million, If this thing trades 50 million, the float rotated 10 times, right? So it's much easier for this fund to get out at any level because it's doing so much volume. But a lot of the times what I want to think, what I believe is that like, I mean, if I was the hedge fund, like I would be both scaling out on this move, but also going for the high a day push. You go for the high a day push, all this volume comes in, everybody gets extra squeezed and they're just dumping on you. And so like as a mean reversion trader, personally, like, like if something's showing strength, like I'm not somebody, like I don't look at these and say, look, I'm going to scale into a short here because there's no telling how high these can go. Like there's literally no telling how high these can go. But when it breaks a high like this, right, and makes a high, like you could just have a stop order right here, like call it like 1349. You're like, okay, I'm going to wait for it to break the high. It breaks the high, you enter your stop order to get short, boom, comes back down. But I would say don't even enter that stop order until the tape confirms it. So watch the tape, breaks the high, does a lot of volume. If you see slamming on the tape, you say to yourself, okay, I've already thought to myself, maybe the float is soaked here. It's showing me that same pattern that I usually see. I'm going to use this stop order to get short after the break. It breaks, it slams down, you take the short, you're instantly in the money, and then it never really comes back to the 1350 level, and you can risk off high a day. So you have like a nice 50-cent risk, but then you want to say to yourself, like, okay, like, like I think looking at small caps, you definitely want to think in terms of percent, not cents. And so you say to yourself, okay, like, what am I expecting this move to be? Like, if I think this is the top because the algo is now done with the trade, and you're saying I'm going to risk 50 cents, okay, great, but personally, like, I wouldn't be going for 50 cents. Like, I wouldn't risk 50 cents to get 50 cents on a small cap. Like, if you really, like, want to, like, capitalize on these types of strategies, you should probably be going for, like, 10%, 20% moves, if not 30% moves, right? And you want to classify them. These are the really good setups, like, call it 25% move. And so, like, something like, it's a $13 stock, like, you want to go for, like, a $3 move. So, like, like, is this thing really going to come back to 10 today? Like, maybe not on a day that's, like, making fresh highs, right? But you could say to yourself, okay, if this comes back to VWAP, it makes the trade worth my while. Like, risk 50 cents and try to get, like, maybe, like, $2 out of it, so it becomes a 4-to-1, then it makes the trade worth it. Personally, I wouldn't be taking one-to-ones on small caps because I don't think a lot of people have edge when tape teleports, They soak the float, the spread is terrible, there's no shares to go around, it moves so quickly, and, like, it's very challenging to get the fills where you want them, so you either take no size, like your size is your risk, but then it's like, are you really getting any money out of the trade? So I would say it's safer to think in terms of percentages and really, really pick your spots with these ones.
Yeah, real quick, what was happening now is, my chain was hitting my microphone, so Fahad was like, yo, hide your loud bling. But more importantly, let's go check out what's happening now at the big screen with Brando.
Still pretty red, guys, unfortunately, right across the entire board here. As we head into the lunch hour on the East Coast, 3.3% there for the NASDAQ, leading the way to the downside. But big-time red numbers, top to bottom here, including Bitcoin and Ethereum. You can see 2.5%, 3.8% to the downside there for Ethereum. 2.5 and 2.5 for the S&P and the Dow. Remember, 10 of 11 for the S&P and the NASDAQ, 9 of 10 weeks to the downside for the Dow, that is, heading into the last half of today, coming off that CPI number. Big move for the 10-year right now, back towards day highs. 3.15 now for the 10-year, the U.S. dollar as well. Continuing to the upside, relentless, in fact, strength on the U.S. dollar. Join us this afternoon. Frank Caberna back on from the small exchange to have a look at the USD, guys. Back over to you.
Let's go. Yeah, look, small exchange guy on today. I will for sure be watching that. Tons of insight from that interview or call every time that they are on. So stay tuned for that. Around 2:50, I believe, is the time for that. Right now, Netflix, man. Sadly, Netflix is getting to the upside, but I'm not worried about this trade too much. I'm getting my fills once again to the north side here, in front of 185. If 185 breaks again, and my stop is around 185.30s or so, I'll take that hit and I'll move away from this trade. S&P 500 and Nasdaq showing us a pretty good bounce overall coming in for the market. So here's S&P 500 getting ready to go test a range high. Nasdaq also bouncing up. I know some of you are mentioning AMD coming in with a nice little bounce too. Let's go check out what AMD is doing. AMD bounced from looks like 94.25 all the way up to $96 here. Most stocks seems to be reclaiming some of those losses that they have put in today. For example, even Roblox, which was over $1 in the money for me for almost all day, is now getting ready to maybe move back to 24.40s area, where I have an order to take more shorts in case it does come into play. I don't think that order will ever honestly give me shares, but if it does, then that just means those are the money fills, at least in my opinion, money fills, and I'll just be loading up on it the same way I'm loading up on Netflix right now. So let's see if Netflix wants to go back to the downside for me. Average price, the exact same average price as last time, since I started loading up a little bit earlier than my actual average price. So a little bit of shares above there, a little bit of a shares below here, just taking shares anywhere I can on this pop-up on here on Netflix, and then you guys know how I'm going to trade it at the end of the day, waiting for that final drop to come in the market, the second leg, third leg down in the market that might just push Netflix right back to the downside. And if I have to take a 30, 40, 50 cent hit on my trade and give back a little bit of the money that I already bagged on this position today, I'm okay with that. That's the risk to reward game that we're playing, giving it maybe 30, 40 cents of risk for a scalp of every time $1 or more. And eventually, if the market does find a way to poop itself and Amber Heard itself all the way back to the lower day for me on Netflix, that's going to be a banger of a trade for me to capitalize on. So just going to keep on working with this. I don't believe Netflix would really take out 185 and stay above 185, so that's my trade. If it does take out 185, you might see a little bit of a barrier coming in around 186, which happens to be the pre-market high, but I don't think 186, it really gets above 186, but that doesn't mean I'm taking my trades all the way up there and just over leveraging myself. I know we said this before. This is something that Greg always mentions to the trainees. You can go big or you can bag hold. You cannot do both. Right now I'm big. I'm not there at the bag hold level yet, but I never want to be at the bag hold level. If I'm getting to that level where I'm about to be bagged, I might as well take that quick little hit, come back at a different price point. That way I can trade my losses back down. Market on a pretty strong move to the north side, so let's see how strong can this move show up to be on the market. Redbox still being called out in the chat. So let's go over to Redbox and see what it's doing. $14. It wants to come test that 14 one more time. We're just waiting to see if it can break 14 today.
I see somebody asking about Doc. You asking is it looking bullish now? Are we going to make a move higher? Look, held the low of day, right? And how many times do we say this? We say, look, this obviously negative, down 23% SSR, kind of pops off the open, right? And this is the pattern we're seeing. It's like, okay, negative catalyst drops down a significant amount. Market opens, you need to use that volume to cover. If you're smart money and you're short ahead of this, and then market opens, there's a lot of, you just got to get, people got to get out of their position. So I think that's why, you get these, initial pops. I was actually looking at this, this morning, but it just wasn't showing me, we had the pop, and it was holding VWAP, and I wanted the short, but I didn't want the long, and then we kind of made a new high, and I said, okay, let me forget about this, and go figure, look at this, right? It's it's almost like you got to favor TWAP, not VWAP at this point, because look, it's holding, and then all of a sudden, 1041 just dies, right? Okay, volume, and then just dies. And so at this point, we held low of day, right? We're making that move, now we're moving back to VWAP. This is an area where you say to yourself, look, this is obviously I think it was earnings, right? They're down 24%, it's coming back to VWAP. Are there going to be a lot of VWAP sellers, right? Are people long this name? Are they stuck? And are they selling? Are agency traders selling this? They're going to act around VWAP. So you watch and you say to yourself, is there a lot of iceberg offers? Is it every time it pops above VWAP, does it get slammed down right away? And these are little tells that I would say, okay, this is not extra strong. But there's a very good chance that it just does nothing. right? There's a very good chance that, like, you know, volume's light, everybody's kind of in or out of their positions, decisions have already been made, and VWAP means nothing, right? I mean, at this point, look, it came towards VWAP, and it just kind of held there for like not even 5 minutes, and just boom, flushed down. So at this point, VWAP doesn't really mean anything. But now, if we come back up, and it's getting slammed, and you're seeing things on the tape, whether it's iceberg offers, whether it's like aggressive selling, right? Because it's SSR, like you cannot short aggressively. So if there's aggressive selling, meaning if the tape, and I'll pull this up for you here, just give me a moment. If the tape is showing, right? If it's showing yellow, these are midpoints. If it's showing green, people are aggressively buying the offer. If it's showing red, people are aggressively selling to the bids, right? And so if at this level you see constant aggressive selling around VWAP, like these are small tells that I say to myself, okay, like it's probably not going to get above VWAP if it continuously gets slammed down. And it's something that I'm learning, like obviously like, you know, like early into my career, but it's like if it pops here and it gets slammed down the first time, right? And then it drops and it pops again, it gets slammed down the second time, like it most likely will get slammed down the third time. But like, you know, like early in my career, I always told myself like, okay, like it got slammed the first time, how do I know it's gonna happen again? But like you'd be surprised when you pick up these little tells along the way, it's like, oh, slam the first time, oh, slam the second time, like you get quicker in reacting. You're like, okay, well, if it's getting slammed, like this is probably gonna head back lower. And then if you kind of get that top tick short over there, like kind of now we move lower. If we pop back again and it goes lower again, like, I mean, the chances are that we might retest that 65, depending if like, you know, market's going sideways, it's lunchtime, there's a little bit less volume, maybe we get more follow through towards the end of the day. But in terms of like being bullish on the name, I don't know, man. I mean, like I'm not bullish on names that are down 24%. Like,
That's right.
It's like, you know, the bounce, it's like the same thing in the market. It's like the market's literally going down all day. Now it's going up. What are you going to say? Like, oh, it's going up, I'm going to get long? Like, no, you should be looking short. And you should be planning, like, how can I get short? Because there's just so much selling pressure. Like, as long as you're on the right side of the move, you might be wrong for a little bit, but you want to have that, like, money to push you into the profits, right? You want to be on the right side of money flow, not on the wrong side. And that's why we say, like, don't anticipate, participate. That goes back to a very simple saying, don't anticipate, participate, which essentially means, look, it doesn't matter if Amazon goes up or down. I'm waiting, I'm watching. If I see slamming, I mean, the short is good, even though I want this to go up, even though I tell myself, oh, calls, it could go up, all these reasons, that means nothing. If it's going down, it's going down. You want to react accordingly. And as I'm saying that, look, Redbox pushing towards 66.25, right? Or sorry, Docu pushing towards 66.25. Like, if we break 66, I mean, like, chances are we get another test of that, like, 165 area, low of day. But at this point, like SSR, like I wouldn't be slamming a short like towards low of day. But yeah, that's my thought.
Talking about DocuSign, you know, last time DocuSign came off to the ground, I got into a little bit of an argument with the chat, so I don't want to, you know, talk bad about it, but like, you know, I told you that this stock will face more negativeness. The COVID scene's coming to an end, and every you know, companies are going back. Tesla coming out with a warning, saying get back to job or quit and things like that. So Docu took big advantage along with Zoom and Peloton and other companies around the board, and now obviously missing out on their earnings, pushing back to the downside, even citing that COVID, easing off on the COVID cases and companies going back to work. This company's going to take a hit, so down 23% today. Part of the reason why I did not even trade Docu today, you know, when Luca was talking about slamming and getting slammed, I knew that I did not want to get slammed on Docu shorts today. I did not want to get slammed. Yeah. I've been in there. I've been in position before where the stock's down 20, 30%, and you're like, there's only one direction, down. And then you come in and the stock just goes, yeah, you thought it was only down. Well, at least, you know, the market still has another direction called up in it, and it just keeps on ripping the north side. So I said, forget this stock. I'm not even going to trade this stock today. And if I do, it'll be with very little size, and it'll be at the perfect levels where I think are perfect. So that just happened to be at near the top tick of the day. I had the right area to be short. I just didn't trade it properly. As you see, I got my nice scalp for $1 per share short, and then I got stopped out on my trade. So I was like, okay, who cares at that point, right? The trade didn't work out. Not going to cry about that. But Netflix did move up to 185. I got my shares at 185.30s or so. Now my average at 184.82, and coming back to the downside is Netflix, which is 30 cents in the money. Netflix went from being, okay, it is back to being my number one stock of the day. So there we go. Netflix flirting with my number one, number two stock, which is Roblox, not Redbox. You know, I am watching the chat, and the chat is getting hyped about Redbox right now. 1440 high a day. Looks like we got a $14 break over here. The next level obviously being 15 or 16, and we got some tail wicks on the daily. So this bottom chart, I don't know if you guys can see that chart properly. You can. Awesome. So let's zoom in over here, and as you guys can see on this bottom chart, actually let's just zoom into this chart a little bit. Why don't we just do that? Makes my life easier, makes your life easier. And here we go. So I'm looking to see if we can find any consolidation levels that the stock might find some resistance in. We got some candle highs over.
RDBX. RDBXW. HNRG. Alt. HITI. RDBX. GDX. Yalla. MICS. MICS. RDBX. RDBXW. 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 GDX. MICS. HNRG. MICS. SBTX. GORO. MICS. MICS. MICS.